For like a second. For like a couple seconds. Actually, do you get the alerts? Let me know if there's an alert. I usually get them, but I don't know.
Well, sure. I saw we went live.
Did we? Are we here?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, are we on? All right, we'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Actually, we can keep talking.
Jojo, if I hear one more fucking word out of you.
Well, there it goes.
Yeah, I would just like to say for the record that it wasn't me who swore this afternoon.
Yeah, John, you can't say that word. It has to be at least a few minutes into the videos.
I forgot the 4 minutes.
We'll really get in trouble.
I forgot. I am sorry, I screwed that up so fast.
Hey. Wow, you destroyed the show already.
We didn't even get a word in, and within the first 10 seconds, I screwed it up.
Yeah, because YouTube didn't used to allow that stuff. Now they do, but it has to be like 5 minutes in.
I know.
Otherwise, they won't promote the videos.
So here's the question: Will you edit that now? Will you edit that out of the replay?
Oh yeah. Oh wait.
I can't. If I do, there's no chat.
Oh no, forget it.
What do we care about the chat for? All the chat does is bad.
Once again, we take a nasty FCC fee.
Here's the thing. I don't know why we care about the chat. All the chat does is badmouth us.
I love the chat.
I know. I do too when it's happening. But in the replay, I mean, is anybody? And it's a legitimate question. Does anybody really care if they're watching the show on replay? What's going on in the chat?
I do.
Yeah.
Do people watch? I mean, I'm asking from a position of complete ignorance because I don't do a whole lot of pre-recorded content. You know, I do a live radio show, unlike most radio stations in America who are pre-recording these days. I don't know what that interaction. What's the benefit of that interaction in hindsight if it's not a live thing? Like that's why satellite radio to me is a joke because. A lot of those shows on certain stations
are
pre-recorded.
Yeah.
So you know, one of the great things about national broadcasting and things like us, where we're doing this worldwide, is the interaction, the immediacy, the idea that you can connect with people all over the world at one time. I don't see the attraction in watching it after the fact, except for people who obviously have real jobs and aren't home watching this now.
See, but I watch the reruns, and even though I'm on the live show, I watch the reruns, and I like to see like things I missed and stuff like that, and just like audience reactions, and who's enjoying what. But also just in general, even when I'm watching nights that aren't ones that I'm on, I like to see like what everyone's saying during the chat because it's like the only social interaction I have lately. This is it. This and the supermarket cashier through a plexiglass. Do you want cash or charge? Cash or charge?
It's funny how everywhere we go now is a Church's Fried Chicken. They've all got bulletproof glass. You're in a good neighborhood when you walk into a Church's Fried Chicken because there's 4 inches of bulletproof glass and a check cashing place on the opposite corner of the intersection.
Yeah, and I always say, "Can I have an 8-piece of your hairiest chicken?" Because
I want to hear it still clucking.
If you ever had Church's Fried Chicken, I don't know if they like defeather it like right there before you get it, but it's like there's always hairs like all over it, like parts of feathers and stuff. It's like wow.
Like when you buy the bag of chicken legs at Costco and you pull out the thigh and there's still a feather sticking out of it.
Is this a beak? Is that a beak or a toe?
Yeah.
So, hey, what is today? What is today? August 18th? August 18th, 2020?
Tuesday.
Telecaster Tuesday? Is that what we call it?
It's tug my taint Tuesday.
Let's call it Trash Broadway Tuesday.
It's usually Tech Moron Tuesday if we have technical issues, which half the time we do because of our budget. Yeah, so we'll see.
You never know.
I'm waiting for the message in the chat from John BL that tells me my room is too dark and I need to turn on a light.
Well, let's before we get into this, let's see who's in here and let's do credits and stuff. We have executive producers watching that are right now typing, asking for my resignation all over that F-bomb I dropped at the very beginning of the show. So I got to at least acknowledge them. The executive producers: Charles Green, Joe Christian, Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Laz, Mike Neese, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, and Steve Carmichael. My apologies to you all, big bosses. I've once again screwed up your investment.
I don't think
they care.
I don't know. No.
They're watching.
No, Music Therapy Laz watches this later. A lot of these guys, they watch this later. They don't watch it. You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch us live either.
This
is dinner time for some people.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's the Democratic convention today. There's dinner. I mean, there's so many things to do. You could step outside and sweat your balls off.
If there's a God, they don't want us to watch any of the conventions. Because last night, just before the big keynote speaker was supposed to speak on the convention, we got hit with the first real monsoon of the season here in Phoenix. It was awesome. It was like all of a sudden they're like, and we're about to hear from the former first look, and all of a sudden my satellite completely pixelated and it said error receiving satellite signal, blah 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? I should turn the television off and grab my guitar and do my thing.
You're looking out the window as roof tiles are flying by. You're like,
no, it was good. It was and my whole backyard got fucked up, which is great. Up there it goes. But at least I waited a couple minutes.
Yes.
I used to have these triangular sail shades over the pool to try and create some semblance of shade in the pool. And they're held on these posts that my ex-wife sunk into the ground because she's a lesbian. And and they were secured by bungee cords. Well, those bungee cords in the Arizona sun tend to dry out, and then the wind starts to blow and they snap. And so I've just been waiting until the storms have basically eliminated all those sail shades, so now I can start from scratch.
The weather started getting rough.
Yeah, if I had a boat, I would take a picture of myself in my Commander McHale hat out there.
I love that photo. Which one is Paul? Which one is really Paul?
I really don't know.
Yeah, well,
I do. I know the secret. They just one has the gap, one doesn't.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. That's it.
One had the gap. It's amazing though. Yeah. I mean, I'm usually not one of those people that subscribes to the doppelganger thing, but you know, the undeniable are undeniable.
No, look, you are Mirror Universe Paul. You know, or that's Mirror Universe Paul, I guess.
Yeah, I wish I had some of his money because he had a pretty nice career.
Well, you're just beginning at your age. He was also working his way up the ladder, right?
Yes, I'm just a young pup.
Let's say hi to everyone in the chat. Going through, we got a bunch of people flowing in. Jim Nicholas, Matt Stewart, John BL. James Gum, Hugh Caldwell, Brian Spalding, Brendan Buttcheeks, Susie Cherry, Vistalite 1972, Thomas Santiago, Fruitcake Tony, Janice Lala, Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs, Ben Tom, Sandra Pocorni. Pocorni, Pocorni, we love you long time. Let's see. I know, right? Let's see. Hugh Caldwell, John B.L. Music Therapy Laz, one of the big bosses in the house. David David Nesballs, Ben Tom. Hey, I don't write them. I just read them. Let's see.
Garguts Entertainment.
Les Mancuda. Les Mancuda
is always a good thing.
I love that name. It's like Les Paul,
awesome.
but Les Mancuda. Neanderthal Radio in the house.
That's
Renus. I know. I see. Let's see. Neanderthal Radio. Renus Pinkle in the house. Steve Carmichael, another big boss. Another big boss.
Carmichael.
We're really under scrutiny today, and I dropped the F-bomb already. Dry Heat 480. Brian.
That would be somebody from Arizona.
Juan Lanzavecchia, Chris Bevan, see who else? Ben Charmer.
We already have 29 thumbs up, which is nice. 24 minutes into the show.
Thank you. We're taking a thumb a minute.
The chat was rocking like an hour before the show.
Nice.
Oh boy, that's expectations now.
Another name after me, professional idiot. Frank Corcoran. All the big bosses in the house today. David Scher, Papa Blue, Kevin Bethel.
Isn't there a button?
Cobra Kai Platoon. A button? What, like a clit? What do you mean?
Don't you see? Isn't there a button that says participants? That you can just click on and it'll show all the names. Yeah.
Is there? Where?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think I have it.
I don't think I have that.
While you guys are looking for that, I'll answer Chris Bevan. The band Operator did not do well because their lead vocalist Johnny is a complete and utter douchebag. Super talented guy. What a voice. He could be the guy to replace Chris Cornell in Soundgarden, because if they're going to try to replace Chris Cornell, they got to do the same thing that Alice in Chains did with William Duvall, which is get a guy who has no name recognition whatsoever, because filling those shoes is not going to be easy. Whether we agree or not, Cornell is one of those guys that has the sort of brand of being the voice of his decade, and anybody that steps into that situation is going to be sort of screwed. So, but the lead singer from Operator, a kid named Johnny Strong, I'm sure mother and father Strong are very proud of their son Johnny. He'd be a great guy to sing for Soundgarden, but Operator sort of one album and disappeared. So fantastic album though. If you like that Soundgarden sounding metal, Operator's a band you should check out. They released the record about 10 years ago.
And thank you, Susie Cherry. Susie Cherry says, I make her Tuesdays. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I make her Tuesdays fucked up. Tuesdays suck because of you. You ruined my week. I'm sorry. I just read the first half of that. I just read the first half of that. I'm sorry, Susie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the good news is you got Susie Cherry and fucked in the same. So there's you
in
got
the
that
same
going for
sentence,
you, which is nice.
Let's see. Ben Tom says, I started back at the elementary school I work at today. Let me tell you, the new pool of teachers are nice. Time to meet in the teachers' lounge. A little flirtation.
Meet you in the ladies' room.
I got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm hot for teacher. Whoa! Let's see. Jim Nicholas wants to know, are we getting power outages over here? They're rolling power outages in California, but I haven't had any. How about you, Johnny?
I had one Saturday night, literally right before we went on.
I got screwed by one in 2002. Was it 2002, 2003, back when Gray Davis was the governor of California, the last time you guys had the rolling blackouts, because PG&E, which is the power company in California, cut some bad deals with the people that provide their electricity from Colorado and the dam and all that stuff. Anyway, political thing aside, it was the day after I got flown down to the night that the picture of me and Gary Sharon that we showed before on the show when we were in the Saddle Ranch. I was staying in the Continental Hyatt, and I'd set the alarm on the clock for 4 a.m. so I could get up and be at the airport and all the stuff that kind of comes with it. And, they always suggest that you call down to the front desk for a wake-up call. I stupidly didn't call down for the wake-up call and just set the alarm on the clock. 3 a.m. rolled around. There was a rolling blackout. All the power in the hotel was cut off for 2 hours. I woke up at about 11:30 in the morning with the clock blinking 12 midnight. So I had missed my flight and missed everything. So those rolling blackouts are a son of a bitch.
Wait, 11 o'clock? So they're about to kick you out of there, right? They're banging on the door housekeeping.
Yes, it was
get out.
Go away.
You want the towel? Housekeeping.
Oh, for the love of all that is holy!
You want housekeeping? Yes.
Go away!
Yes.
They do that-
Coming in.
They do that in the bathrooms too now, like at Target.
Oh, listen, I'm on the shitter and they're knocking on the stall. You need a clean? Yeah, I'll do it
John.
myself though. I mean,
John, do you remember we were at NAM, and we were both actually sitting side by side, and they were trying to kick us out.
In the bathroom?
That wasn't me. All I saw was a note under there. Put your penis through the hole. I was like, Johnny?
No, that was the other side.
Oh, okay. The other time at NAM, we're sitting side by side. Nothing like it. You're trying to go, and you're like, I hope Johnny doesn't hear me like blow apart the toilet. You know, it's like
there's a little hole drilled into the thing there, and it says "insert meatball sub."
I just see Johnny's foot come from under the stall. Tap tap tap. What does that mean?
I've got a wide stance.
I look at his shoe. It's what's his name from Wham. It's George. What was his name? George Michael. Yeah, he says, remember George Michael?
As if you didn't know who that is.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, there was a senator that happened years ago in an airport.
No, he was on the other side of my
You guys
stall.
remember that?
That was in Minneapolis.
I remember.
In Minneapolis. What was his name?
I don't know, but his
Craig.
signal,
It was Senator Craig.
his signal to hook up was put your foot under there and tap in the other stall.
Yeah,
Well,
and that was
an awful lot of information for people that don't know.
Don't know. No idea.
That was his defense. He said he had a wide stance.
Yes,
A wide stance. What are you like 6 feet apart? You're like this. You're like trying to take a shit. You could fire a missile out of your ass. It's so wide. Jesus, you don't even hear the farts. It's just like just so wide. Penis is like Pinocchio. It's just, Jesus, how wide do you have to stretch your anus? That's some wide stance.
That's gonna be the title of your autobiography.
How
John
wide do you have to
how
stretch
wide do
your
you have to
anus?
stretch your anus?
I'll be
A self-help
pensive.
book.
I'll be pensive in the cover, like thoughtful, like reflecting on my empty career. Speaking of my empty career, I got a wake up call today too. I got a brick through my window with a note tied to it. Shut the fuck up on Tuesdays. And I was like, I guess this is kind of a wake up call.
It's an interesting HOA you got there.
Yeah. Here's your fee, man, Cuda. I know you want me to leave. Yeah. Mr. Hellstorm 74 wants to know, Mancuda, are you going to get the new Tracy Guns Kramer? No, I'm not. I love Tracy. I love LA Guns. I have one of his original guitars, but that one's a Star, and I'm not a big Kramer Star guy. So it doesn't interest me. It's cool looking, it's a neat one.
Oh, like the shape.
Yeah, it's a star with a a neck on it.
We saw that at NAM, didn't we?
Yeah.
I thought that was a picture of him with him and Michael Sweet with EVH Stripe Series Star guitars. I thought I saw a picture of that on one of the guitar websites or something like that, where it's like,
Here it is.
Can you play an EVH Stripe guitar? And it was like, I think it was Tracy Guns and Michael Sweet that were both playing them for something.
I mean, his isn't striped. What is it? It's a lightning graphic, if I remember.
They're both playing Stripe Series.
I thought so.
The one at NAM, though, was a star with, I think, a lightning graphic on it.
I got it. Yeah. I think this is the one that we saw. I think
John Biel.
Black guitar.
John Biel. Is this it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a flame.
It looks like Akira Takasaki's Hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice guitar. I'm just not, the only star shapes I play are like BC Rich Ironbirds. That's like a Charvel kind of star shape, even though it's a Kramer.
Garguts, thank you so much, man.
Nice.
Just became a member.
Oh,
thank you,
thank you, Garguts.
John Mancuda really appreciates your member.
You bet I do.
Yeah, and check out Garguts Entertainment. He's got a show. He goes live with our friend Alex Radford, like throughout the week.
There you go.
Yeah, we had dinner. Remember, John? We had dinner.
I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, he was sitting across from it. Wasn't he like by what Zane or Dane of Zim's Guitars?
Yeah. Yeah, he was with us that night, and then he was with us the
Zane's
very
Guitar.
last night when we were sitting in that real small booth with Michael Smith and his
Sure. I do remember.
By the way,
SIXX
Dane, for those people that have been looking for a cheap guitar that they can stripe up Van Halen style, but they want to do it like a Music Man, has an OLP, officially licensed OLP Music Man, hanging on the wall in his shop right now for $150. That'd be a great steal for somebody.
Can't beat that.
No, it's a great guitar. It is the best $150 guitar you'll ever play.
And what's his website again? Just give the website.
That's just Zim's Guitars in Mesa. He doesn't really have a website.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
You'll find it. Hey, for $150 guitar, you'll find it.
Trust me, if you know Dane, and you've probably seen him, technology is not his friend.
But we are, because
Yeah.
we like him.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm. And Dan, if you happen to see this, if you're watching this, send me a picture of it, and I'll put it up.
Yeah, it's a good guitar. I played it yesterday. The only thing you'll probably want to do is replace the tuners. The tuners are a little, they're not the highest quality tuners, but for a set of tuners and $150, you get a fantastic Music Man import.
Hey, Mark Dillon.
I did a review on one of those guitars a few years ago, and that was my main thing, was replace the tuners.
Yep. And to be honest with you, just in case for those people that care about such things, it's not a Sterling by Music Man. It's the OLP. It's the one that they did the first import version, which are significantly better quality than Sterling.
Yeah, from years ago. Those came out years ago.
Yeah, these are the first ones that go for anywhere from $300 to $500 now used, because they're really good guitars for the money. And the obviously to buy a Music Man is going to cost you $3,000. And if you're going to buy an Axis, it's going to cost you $1,500 to $2,000. But this OLP, he's got it for $150. It's worth it. You can't get a good set of pickups for $150.
What color is it?
It's the translucent gold, a little darker. It's good. It's a good guitar, and it's one of those ones that if you were thinking about doing a Van Halen conversion or whatever it is, even if you like the 90s version of Van Halen and you want the one that looks like the translucent gold that he played his primary #1 guitar back in the early 90s.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. So
yeah, like the one that I have.
Huh.
Yeah. So here's a picture. This isn't Dane's, but this is a picture of what that guitar looks like, I'm assuming.
Except this guitar actually has a better top on it. Actually has the quilted veneer, the translucent quilted veneer.
This one does, or his does?
No, his does.
Okay, good.
And it's $150.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the Floyd on it. It's got a regular non-locking trem.
At $150, I'm surprised it even comes with strings.
It's a good guitar for the money. It's a fantastic guitar for the money.
$150. How do you go wrong?
But it's not that one.
Better. No, but it's not that one.
So don't even look at that one.
Nope, don't even look at that one, because it's not even close.
It's not that one. What's the same color?
Yeah, that's not the one you're getting.
No, but it is, according to KXM Rock, it is a good guitar to mod. I mean, the guitar, the frame of it, and the construction on the guitar in and of itself. If you're gonna take it, I'm one of those guys that I don't really mod guitars. If I bought a Music Man guitar, I bought it because I like the way it feels, the way it sounds, and the way it plays. That's why I paid the money for it. I don't understand spending $2,000, $3,000 for an Ibanez Gem and then replacing the pickups.
Yeah, if you're going to buy something high, if you're going to buy something high end like that, I mean, you're paying for what you're getting. At $150,
that's exactly
man. How do you go wrong? How do you go wrong for $150 there? And hey, Margaret Scranton, shout out. How are you?
Hey, Margaret.
I almost bought it on principle just to have a hack guitar to throw around.
What does that have to do with Margaret Scranton?
Yeah,
she was a guest. She was a guest on the channel a week ago Friday.
Excuse me.
Will Starr in the house. Mitch Heyman. I can't even keep up with all the people.
Yeah,
but welcome everybody. We're happy to have you. Thank you for wasting your time with us.
Yep. If you're going to waste time, we'd be the place to do it.
Yeah.
102 watching.
102 thumbs up. Is that what you said? Is that what we have so far?
Pretty soon.
I hope so. Jim
Pretty
Nicholas wants to
soon.
know what flavor of Bang I'm drinking tonight. Let's see. Sour Heads. Delicious Sour Heads. We have actually 3 sponsors for tonight's show. We have, of course, Bang Energy Drink and Swiss Picks, our
Which
regular.
I don't get.
Well, you will. You will.
I know.
Our regular sponsors. Look at them. We love them.
Irregular.
And of course, tonight we're trying out a new sponsor. We'll see how it goes. It's sponsored by
Oh no.
Kroger brand peas. Kroger brand peas, delicious Kroger brand peas. These are sweet peas. Taste the sweet penis in Kroger peas. Taste the sweet penis.
It's safe to say that John Mancuda loves sweet pea.
I love
He
the sweet
craves
peanuts of Kroger peas.
Yep. Sweet peas on a Tuesday night is exactly what quenches John Mancuda's hugger.
As soon as I'm done, I am going to taste the penis in Kroger peas. Delicious.
Hey, Bazik.
We'll see how that one works. We'll see if that one works out and stays with us.
That's a nice greeting. Hey, Bozik.
Yeah,
Good to see you, Bazik. All right. Well, where is Dane? Is Dane in the chat?
No.
Because we're.
But
I mean,
he may end up here at one point.
we tried all Saturday night to sell, a bunch
Yeah,
of his guitars and stuff.
I saw it was like the Sanford and Son garage sale of Saturday night. It was like, we got this guitar. It's got strings, 4 of them and everything.
By the way, for the purposes of this impression, the part of Fred Sanford will be played by drunk Bill Cosby.
No, that would be
you about this guitar.
no. Bill Cosby's more like, I would like to talk to you about the strings on this guitar.
On the guitar.
The guitar is 30 cubits by 12 cubits, and it plays. It's the color blue, the same color as what I slipped into your drink.
Now.
Oh,
Yeah, it was funny. I stopped by Dane's store yesterday, and I said to him, I go, dude, did you take any of those phone calls that you were getting at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock on a Saturday night to sell shit out of your shop? He goes, nah, man, I'm not really into selling anything. I'm like, why do you own a fucking store?
gives him something to do.
And that was me.
What, you calling him?
That was
How can John resist a deal like that?
That was me that called up.
I knew that.
I heard that. I heard, how much is that guitar? It's like,
Yeah.
Saturday was a great show. You guys had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Paul chasing a cricket.
Yeah, that cricket. He lives. He still lives, and I still have the black pepper jar just in case he does show up again. I will trap him
Humanely, cricket. Kill a fly, kill a moth, kill a scorpion. But even the scorpion, let him go. But
I've never had a scorpion. I've lived in Arizona over a decade now, and I've never had a scorpion. I have friends that have them all the time. I don't get them in the house. I live in an older neighborhood. But I live in an older neighborhood.
So what? The scorpions only go in a nicer area?
No, well, yeah, they've been gentrified.
Well, this is too nice.
White flight.
I don't know about
white
this, honey. Is that the scorpions calling right now to complain?
Yeah, one of the problems is one of the problems with it is not problems but issues is once the construction settles down, they go away. They go to whenever they move the ground. So any place where they're doing any new construction, houses, strip malls, and stuff like that, unearths the scorpions. But scorpions tend to, and I've got feral cats in the neighborhood too, so they hunt them.
Jeez, you're like in a jungle over there. Let's see. Crowbar in the house. How are you, man? Someone just, let's see.
That was somebody wanted to buy a guitar from Zims.
Was it really?
Yeah.
KXM Rock wants to know, Mancuda, does that Captain America shield work like the real one? That is a studio one. That is a studio Captain America shield. It was used in a Marvel commercial for one of the Marvel amusement park attractions.
Marlboro?
I think in Asia, Disney Asia or whatever they call it. That was used in a commercial, and it was given to the director Rob Cohen, and I got it from Rob. So that is an actual studio made cap shield. So it's made of metal. Does it work? Can I throw it against one of my neighbors? I don't know. I'll see how the night goes. But it's it's got the grips and everything. I can wear it on my back. It's cool. In the meantime, it shows just how much I love my country. That's my American pride right there. The ideals of Captain America. That's what I stand for. So I love that. I'm a comic book geek. And everyone's saying hi to Blue Rhino in the chat. Thank you, everybody. The agreeable member, the least dramatic member of Popcorn the band, for sure. Can I now bitch about JoJo the Chimp?
Can't. Restraining order.
Even before the show, Jesus Christ, it just has to throw drama my way.
Nope.
Can I come on the show? No. Can I come on the show? No. Can I come on the show? No. So all he's going to do is promote his personal projects, and he's not going to add anything, and he's going to badmouth the four of us. I don't need that. JoJo's not allowed on the show for now. Jim Nicholas, did I ever find any of Ace Frehley's guitars for sale? Whatever happened to the Mini Explorer he used on the Dynasty Unmasked tour? I'm not sure about the Explorer. I have over the years seen various of Ace's guitars for sale. He sold a bunch of them years ago. And I remember like one of his really famous ones was cut into a double cut. It was redone into a double cut. But I don't own any. I know they're floating around. He's had a bunch of mostly Norland era Les Pauls and stuff like that. But no, I don't know what happened to that Mini Explorer. Oh, there he is. No, you're not coming on the damn show. No. Oh, my God. I don't care about your damn residual. Stop. Just enough out of you. Enough. We're doing a live show here. JoJo, be professional. There he is. My Ming vase. My fucking Ming vase. Oh, my God.
Ned was really looking around.
I was going to put my grandpa's ashes in there. Thank goodness I didn't. Priceless Ming vase. Stupid
and thank goodness your grandpa's not dead yet.
I know, right?
By the way,
he hates JoJo too.
Renus Pinkle asked if you've ever owned the Ace Frehley Washburn guitar. I wouldn't use the Ace Frehley Washburn guitar to shovel Mancuta's grandfather's grave. The Ace Frehley Washburn guitar is an unmitigated piece of dog shit.
It really. Remember we looked at one in an episode of the show.
Yeah,
it's
and
garbage.
I looked at considering buying one, and then I realized this is an absolute piece of dog shit. It's a garbage guitar. First of all, it's a Washburn, so they're not known for quality guitars during that era. That 80s era. There's that's their Washburn's budget was let's get Ace Frehley, who hasn't released an album in 20 years, to be our endorsee.
They had no one else.
And then they got a guy who's known for playing Les Pauls and gave him the most un-Les Paul shaped guitar they could possibly come up with. And yeah, it is Renus brings up, it is one of those guitars.
A true Kiss fan wants. That's it.
They want it, and it's got value on the collector's market, but they're garbage.
You'd never play it. You'd never really play it.
And it's not it's not something that's going to. I don't think it's anything that's going to endure. I don't think it's going to be a good guitar that anybody that people are going to look back and they go, oh, it's like the Frankenstein for Eddie Van Halen or Aces. Yeah, that's a piece of shit guitar. Look at that thing.
God, that's the most uncomfortable crotch muling shape.
It looks terrible. It really does.
Crotch mauling.
It's 80s though.
That's 80. That's 80s, like the band Nitro is 80s.
Yeah, it's like Salvador.
It came out in the 80s, but it sucks dick harder than Tracy Lords.
It's a Salvador Dali guitar. I mean, look at that thing. It's just.
I don't think it's even I don't even think it's a rub-a-dub Dolly Hello guitar.
It's not
terrible.
No, stay away from that. thing. But you know,
Ugh.
there's no accounting for taste.
Makes my dick limp.
And I say that as a huge Ace Frehley fan. I've got a couple of Ace Frehley signature guitars. They were never owned by him, as far as I know. But that one, I looked at it for a while. I was like, because I like Ace Frehley. I'm like, well, do I really want this? Not for what they're asking for it. No.
Oh yeah, that's still
seriously, it looks like one of those cheap Japanese guitars you see in pawn shops for $100 everywhere.
It's garbage.
Like those no-name brands. I mean, I know it's Ace endorsed and whatever, and I'm sure he was like thrilled to get the endorsement, but like, Jesus. It's something Gem and the Holograms dolls came with. Something like
exactly.
that.
Yeah, it's
it's like a cartoon. It's like a because the guitars in the Gem show and all that stuff.
Yeah, or Josie and the Pussycats, like no real
or whatever.
shit. Yeah,
the guitars they didn't even look like they were actually functional.
Yeah, like Rudy's guitar from Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids.
Janice Lala asked the question, "How does it play?" Nobody plays them.
Yeah, no one.
If there was any, if that guitar had any real value or real interest from guitar players, somebody would play it. Somebody other than Ace Frehley in one video. I don't recall Ace really even playing that guitar for a long period of time. He played it in the Into the Night video.
He was embarrassed.
And then somebody handed him a Les Paul on stage, and he went, "Oh yeah, this is what I like."
Oh right, a real guitar. That's right.
Yeah,
yeah. Janice, you want to know how it plays? Go in the shed, pull out a rake, and strum it. And the rake is actually a better player. So if that gives you some idea. By the way, Mike Neese in the chat says, "My 13-year-old son thinks you're great, John." Let me put that in perspective.
Child Protective Services.
Yeah,
Mike Neese right
your 13-year-old son also jerks off into a sock.
Yep.
So, in perspective, while I appreciate the compliment, he's not quite the greatest judge of character yet. I'm sure when he turns 16, he's going to be like, holy shit, Dad, I listened to that jerk off.
He probably spent some time trying to get sound out of the pus in his face.
Yeah, listen, as soon as he gets laid, he's going to realize I'm just like a moron that happened to get on the air. So his taste will change for the better. Trust me.
Let me save you time and thousands of dollars in therapy bills. Shut the show off now.
Yeah. Don't let him watch. Definitely. But thank you. Listen, Mike, we appreciate your son's viewership. Anyway, have him leave a thumbs up on his way out.
And what's his name? We'll send him a Christmas card.
And a subscription to Brazzers. Thank you. And Fruitcake Tony wants to know, what's the guitar for tonight? Is it Celebrity? It's not Celebrity. It's the same color as my hat, though. And it's very cool. I'll say that.
Yeah, because you're going to say the guitar you have is not cool. Hi, yeah. Here's my tonight's show and tell guitar. It's the Washburn AF40. It's a piece of shit.
Let's see.
Mike Neese says his son thinks he's a moron. Smart kid.
Well, at least your son knows I'm a moron. He's just attracted to it. Kids watch all sorts of stupid things. Trust me. Susie Cherry says, I just got out of the hospital this morning and thank you for your kind thoughts. I'm doing better, but my head still aches. Go figure, huh? What, you bump it under a steering wheel? What, at work? What happened?
It's that kind of compassion and love that brings people to this show every Tuesday.
Yeah. They're all looking for the affection. No, but I'm glad you're okay, Susie. Jokes aside.
Yeah. I hope you're okay.
Let's see. Bozique just said in Cosby voice, I put the roofie in the jello because Dr. Huxtable gets the pussy. Dr. Huxtable gets the pussy. There we go. That was his defense in court. Why did you put that?
Doctor, don't you?
Why did you put that in her drink, Mr. Cosby? Well, look at her titties.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank God that guy's in jail. Gotta get guys like that off the street, man.
I saw him when they were like wheeling him into the jail. It's not like, look, if you can't outrun Cosby now,
Let me tell you something. Everyone suddenly gets crippled when they're in trouble.
I know.
It's like Cosby suddenly is.
Yeah. You see Harvey Weinstein showed up. All of a sudden, Harvey Weinstein is
got a walker and
yeah.
he's feeling around him. I can't see very well. Shut up, you perv. Get in the cell. You're done. Go. Jesus.
Awkward silence.
Oh, come on, man. You know, those guys definitely deserve to be in their cell. Cobra Kai Platoon says Mankuta's mic looks huge tonight. Yeah, because we were talking about masturbating into a sock, so it swole up with a little blood at the anticipation of maybe later. Oh boy. No, Susie Cherry Blue Rhino isn't bitter tonight. He's just miserable because JoJo's been staying with us this weekend. He had nowhere else to go, so I figured, all right, bandmate, I'll put him up.
By the way, is it Seamus? I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Levry, Seamus Levry, or Levry?
Aye, it's Seamus Levry.
Seamus Levry. Thinking of Elvis, 43 years gone, dead more now than he lived. Elvis was a fucking pedophile.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Oh, I gotta touch this little girl.
Sorry, she won't understand my bananas, peanut butter, banana.
I believe Elvis would have sang, I don't usually say things like this to girls your age, but when I saw you coming out of school that day, I knew I'd become I've got to have you.
There is an Elvis kiss guy, isn't there? There's an Elvis impersonator that looks like Gene Simmons.
Yeah, he's a little
Yeah, he looks just like him. Looks just like him.
We're getting requests now, like it's a radio show. John Mancuda, can you play Wicked Garden by Stone Temple Pilots? No, he can't.
Nor would I. I don't like Stone Temple Pilots. Let's see. Just looking. I'm catching up on the chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah.
We're all like, what other comedy gold can we do?
How can we other people?
How can we make everyone else miserable? Brian Spalding wants to know, do I own any of Mick Mars guitars? Yeah, I had on the show a while back a trans orange Charvel. It used to be trans red. It used to be owned by Mark Diglio of XYZ. It wound up going to Mick Mars. Mick Mars used it to record about half of the Motley Crue self-titled album, the crappy one. And the guitar is great, so I have that one. So yeah, that's the Mick Mars guitar I do have. A lot of them are in hard rock.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever visit like just random hard rock cafes? Just to see like what guitars are.
If I'm in town, I remember when I was doing Lost years ago. I was in Hawaii and I happened to go into that hard rock cafe and see Lita Ford's Yellow Mockingbird guitar. And I was like, how fast can I rip that off the wall and make it to the door? And and then years later, Lita got it back and started using it live on tour. And I was just like, oh, hello. So I do pop in. I do pop in every once in a while to a hard rock cafe and just check out what they have.
Ford live on tour.
Everyone has.
Yeah, that was an interesting book to read. the notches on the inside walls. There's like a big AS. It's like Arnie Saknussemm from Journey to the Center of the Earth. By the way, there's your Arnie Saknussemm reference. Mancuda and I are the only two people on the planet that got that reference. That's why we're friends, because I made an Arnie Saknussemm reference, and you're like, "Holy shit, I get that!"
And Ted Knight's got to come in. Arnie Saknussemm. Lars, Gertrude, come this way. Cindy, Alec.
The only two people on the fucking planet now that know an Arnie Sacknism reference. I put it as just AS and just point it up at Mancuda for the next 3 hours.
You know what's really funny? I have an animation cell that has that AS. Hold on, I gotta just grab this just to geek out. If any of you know that cartoon, I'll kiss you.
Thrash metal and fun riffs. Primus sucks. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Primus sucks. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Professional Idiot says, does anybody remember the band Private Life? Yes and no.
Yes.
There's a reason why there's a reason why nobody remembers the band Private Life, but Johnny does because Eddie Van Halen produced their record, so he owns it.
Yeah, there was two of them, and I saw them. They opened up for Van Halen.
Yeah.
The 0812 tour, the tour that was after the Monsters of Rock.
I can't believe you have an Arnie Sacknism.
I'm this much of a geek because I love Filmation so much, the old cartoon company, that look at this. This is an animation cell background from Journey to the Center of the Earth. And it's a dagger with a little AS on it.
It's an Arnie Sacknism dagger.
Yeah.
Now, that dagger was pointing in the direction that Arnie Sacknism went on his journey to the center of the earth.
Yes.
That was the big thing that people don't know. For those that don't know the show, Journey to the Center of the Earth, it was obviously a
hold on, let me illustrate as we talk.
Yes.
It was,
I need visual aids.
Professor Oliver Lindenbrook, my niece Cindy, assistant Alex.
Yes. Don't forget Lars.
Lars. Wait. And his duck Gertrude.
Gertrude, yes. Who was the smartest one in the entire party.
Yeah. But the evil Count Sacknism blew up the entrance and blocked the way forever. With his... Hold on, I know I have one here. Hold on.
So for people that don't know, they were on the way. They were lurking for the center of the earth, and they were following the leads by a guy named Arnie Sacknism.
With his manservant Torg.
His manservant.
Yeah, Professor, we need to get to Journey of the Earth very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a very good cartoon.
I thought it was terrific. Fuck you.
Clearly.
Gertrude sees a clue.
But the
dagger of Arnie Sacknism pointing the way to the center of the earth.
Yes, anywhere that they would go, there would be an AS for Arnie Sacknism and then an arrow. And it was like he was pointing people. And I always thought that when I was watching Shawshank, that the Brooks was here, where the Brooks was here thing, there should have been an AS and an arrow. I thought that would have been a nice tribute to Journey to the Center of the Earth.
No, I love that cartoon. I loved all the Filmation cartoons. I was a huge Filmation fan. And that one and Fantastic Voyage were at the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
It was like Sunday morning or something. You know, it was like, before Davy and Goliath and Barbapapa. You could watch, like, they were really good. I love Filmation cartoons.
I loved the spaceship in Fantastic Voyage and how they miniaturized it and stuff. And I was like, when they did the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movies, I was like, this is fucking Fantastic Voyage. You're ripping us off here. By the way, we've had a couple of people that said that we're not talking about metal.
Sure we were.
Yeah, I know. We were.
Sure we were.
That sword was made of metal.
We go in and out.
So
we have a lot to talk about metal.
But it was a fantastic show. You want to talk 80s metal? We'll talk 80s metal.
Yes, we will get, let's see. Jim Nicholas wants to know, did Eddie Ojeda have a Twisted Sister logo guitar by Charvel and Kramer? Eddie Ojeda did have a Twisted Sister logo guitar, one by Charvel that was basically a pink bullseye, thin pink bullseye, pointy headstock, has the Twisted Sister logo on it. And then he had a Kramer, which was the Twisted Sister logo on a gray background with graffiti of all the band names on it, and then the TS was in pink bricks. So yeah, he had those two, and of course he had the classic bullseye Charvel, the pink bullseye Charvel as well. That was a Strat head. Krellbar recognizes Tor. Let's see.
Tor was awesome.
Yeah, no, I just love old Filmation cartoons.
All right, let's. I'll take it into a metal direction. Pete Way, pro or con?
No big deal. Although we did produce the first Twisted Sister album, I'll give him that.
And
I'm not a big UFO fan. Nothing against him. I'm not a big UFO fan.
Nor am I. UFO is a band that was bigger in legend than they were in reality. But
they're bigger in England. They're big in England and Europe.
Yeah, and we did lose Pete Way this week. Which, by the way, by show of hands in the chat, how many people didn't even know Pete Way was still alive? I mean, he's a guy that lived a very destructive life, and had a huge drinking problem and was sort of a nightmare to be around a lot of the times. But his talent was undeniable. Did a lot of great stuff in his career. But we did lose him. So there's a quick metal dip into metal news.
Yeah, and Black Salami, if you're a new viewer here, I guess you are. We talk metal, we talk guitars, we talk pop culture. I mean, we just do goofy, funny stuff over the next couple hours. We just want to be an escape for everyone. But trust me, we get lots of metal in there, lots of sex jokes, lots of a lot of stuff. But just hang tight. Give it a shot. Give it a shot, bro.
Jason Lee trying to troll everybody with his Randy Rhoads affinity. Good for you, Jason. We recognize you. We see you. Thanks for watching.
We see you. I love Randy Rhoads. We've gone over this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. All right. I'll dive into music news since I'm caught up on the chat now. Let's see. Papa Blue wants to know, Mancuda, is the pink guitar coming up the one Jay wants? It's not salmon. It's the right color. It's the right color. I won't tell you what brand it is, but it's pretty badass. We'll see that. Let's talk a little about Gene Simmons, because he's in a couple of stories today. The first one is his daughter Sophie. If you guys watch Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, you know his daughter Sophie. I mean, she's really cute. She's really smart, and she's also talented. She's a singer, and she's got a really good voice, like legit, like not just, nepotism and the whole nine yards. She's really, I mean, she's beautiful, of course, but she's got a really good singing voice. And recently she landed on the Canadian Billboard Top 100. She's down to like number 57 right now. So she's just climbing up the charts in Canada. And Gene is like super behind her. Gene, what do you think of your daughter going into that?
I think my daughter was a karmic bitch slap to me for all of the terrible things that I did to young and undeserving women during my career.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, are you worried that like other men will be hitting on her, like, groupies and stuff? And I mean, what do you think of that? Are you protective of her?
I think Sophie can take care of herself. She's a big girl with big, round, firm breasts and a round, apple-shaped derriere. And and if she weren't my daughter, I'd want to touch her in her squishy parts.
I have noticed that she did get those implants, like Shannon.
She got implants?
Well, if those are natural, man, I'm shocked. But I don't think so.
No, she's stacked.
Is she naturally that busty?
Yes. The thing is, she also has the propensity to be a girl as curvy as she is. If she doesn't stay away from the ice cream, she could end up more like Gene and less than Shannon.
Oh no.
I was just about to say, Sophie was lucky. She got mostly Shannon's looks, whereas Nick got mostly Gene's looks. So she hit the genetic lottery.
Oh, definitely.
She is a stunningly attractive girl. The funny thing about it is, and we joke about Gene all the time because he's not here to beat us up.
Yeah, thankfully. His lawyers make an appearance once in a while on the show.
He is a super intelligent guy. He'll be the first to tell you. He is a super intelligent guy, but he and Shannon, despite all of the trappings of Hollywood celebrity life and all that stuff, have raised two incredibly well-adjusted, super smart, creative, talented kids who don't need their daddy's inheritance to get them through adulthood, but they're gonna do just fine on their own. So
yeah, they're not spoiled. They're pretty down to earth.
Yeah, no, Gene's family is, I mean, say what you will about goofy celebrity families. For whatever reason, he instilled upon them some serious sense of responsibility. They're not stupid. You never hear about them going out getting drunk and all. They could have easily done the Paris Hilton, Hollywood celebrity kid thing to all the bars on the Strip and stuff when they were of age, and neither one of them do. They're not interested in that. They're super well behaved and grounded kids. So more power to her. Hopefully she can have a nice career. It's difficult for her to be as talented as she is and to be successful being Gene Simmons' daughter. We can talk a little bit about the Wolfgang Van Halen thing if we have time as well. When you are the son or daughter offspring of a legend, the cards are stacked against you. You're sort of screwed coming out of the gate. So if you can make a name for yourself on your own, more power to you. They've got an even tougher time than somebody who has
stacked. Gene's daughter is super stacked.
She's super attractive.
Yeah, she's really pretty. I've always liked her.
Yeah.
She's naturally pretty. I like that about her.
Yep.
And
and I do believe that chest is real.
Well, God bless. I need to check. I'll ask Paul.
Taste test would be great.
When Gene's not looking, I like to touch his daughter in those places. She's always backstage, and I don't notice sometimes.
Here's Paul trying to pretend he's not light in the loafers again.
I like women. I definitely do.
You like dressing like them. Remember, Gene used to refer to Mrs. Stanley. True story.
I'd love to leave a star mark in her crotch.
She is. I'm looking at her right there. I'm just like, Jesus, man, that's a good girl.
And look how tall Nick is.
These guys are huge Kiss fans, too.
Think about that. Nick is taller than Gene. Gene's a big guy.
Gene's like 6'5".
Gene's probably about my height. I'm 6'4". Gene's just about my height in regular shoes. And look how tall Nick is. He's got like a foot on him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, geez. Wow. That's wild. Hey, you were talking, you touched on Wolfgang real quick. Wolfgang went on to Twitter the other day to talk about how he gets insulted all the time. And it's always the same two insults. You're fat and you're the product of nepotism. And he handles it like such a gentleman. It's like so mind-blowing. He's just like so calm about it. He's like, I know. Yes, I'm fat. I understand. Yes. Can you come up with something better? That's it. And, he's like correcting people's spelling. He's like, you're the product of nepotism. And he's like, yes, it's YOU''RE. Your mother would be so embarrassed seeing you insult me like that with, improper grammar. It's like, wow. He just handles it so well.
Again, can't be easy being the son of a legend.
Yeah. Yeah, look, Mel Mancuda, my father. How do I live up to those standards, Yeah,
I'm sure the guys are talking to Mel at the B'nai B'rith. They're like, "Oi, Mel, your boy, what the hell is wrong with him?
He's always cursing and cursing. And can't he find a nice girl and settle down?
Why does he spend all of his evenings on the internet?
Is he a fagula? He's always in the pink. He's got a pink talus.
That would have been a great freeze.
Pink talus and pink yarmulke. You got it, Johnny?
Huh?
Nah. Johnny's just waking up. He's like our regular viewers. He's not paying attention either.
I was sleeping.
Understandable.
So's half the audience.
But no, about Wolfgang. He's been very active on Twitter and Instagram.
He's very active.
Oh, look, somebody woke up Johnny.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Johnny suddenly he's got like 2 lines in the whole show, and those were them. He's like, that's it. I did my part. I'm gonna go get Chinese now.
Hey, Craig.
Fruitcake Tony wants to know, what do we think about Ozzy's new show that started last weekend? Ozzy Osbourne Wants to Believe. I haven't seen it yet. Sandra Picorni says it sucks.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I will. I want to see it because I want to see Ozzy go, oh my God, Scoob, it's a ghost. SIXX.
Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne on Scooby-Doo would have been much better.
Ozzy, Ozzy Doo, where are you? Oh, I want to go to bed.
man. I'm lost in the bathroom, man.
Sharon's gonna come out dressed like Daphne, and you have Kelly's gonna come out like Velma. They're all gonna dress like the crew.
I think John should get credit for not referencing Kelly Osbourne and Scooby, because that was the obvious connection I was making in the casting.
If you would have asked me a couple of years ago, but she slimmed down. I got to give her credit. She stayed off of alcohol. She's been watching her weight. She lost 200 pounds or something. I mean, she looks good. For Kelly, she's not Amy Pretty, but for Kelly, she looks really good.
Brian, the side guy, asked if any bands played Sturgis besides Smash Mouth. Yeah, Jackal played Sturgis on Thursday night to a packed crowd with no masks and no social distancing. So
we'll see how that works out.
We'll see how that works out in a couple of weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
I hear Jackal playing the ER. Jackal's going to be playing the ER soon to the same audience.
Oh, no.
But that said, Jackal was fantastic, as they always are live. But fair, and full disclosure, they're also friends of mine, so I have to say that.
Yeah.
Did you guys
doesn't make it not true?
Did you guys ever see this? Is this a real thing?
Please tell me that's not your nutsack. What? Oh, yes.
That was one of the
Kiss met Scooby-Doo. Yes.
Yeah, when they did the relaunch of the new Scooby-Doo mysteries.
Yeah, it was. It was very marketable.
Yes, Jimmy Potter says Jackal plays every year, no matter what. That's because Jesse Dupree is a co-owner of the Full Throttle Saloon up there. That's why they play every year.
Hanna-Barbera clearly paid a nominal fee to get Kiss in there. Ben Tom wants to know, am I into nerd pussy? Well, I never actually asked it while I was down there if it reads well, or do you like sci-fi?
I was just gonna say I've got every report I got from Nerd Pussy, and I think I have a quote here. No,
is that a band?
He's never been into me.
I wonder if that's a band. Nerd Pussy.
That'd be a great name for a band.
That really would.
To me, if you're going to be into the nerd style chicks, it begins and ends with Tina Fey for me. God damn.
Oh, she's cute in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like this big too.
Yeah.
Really tiny girl.
Just electric. She lights a room.
Smart as can be. I like smart girls. I really like smart girls.
Smart and cute. She's really cute.
Yeah, definitely. Brains win me over. So yeah, I guess you could say I like nerd girls. I like a lot of type of girls.
Well, she has her own hit show.
Who? Tina?
Oh, does she?
So she has to be very smart.
Well, I mean, she was the head writer at SNL when I was over there. When I was over at SNL, she was head writer for a while. So I mean, that's no joke. I mean, she's really accomplished. She's smart.
And that's not a good just for people that don't know. The culture of Saturday Night Live, for a woman to ascend to the head writer position is almost unheard of.
They have a lot of women over there. Amy Poehler was over there at that time. They always have a bunch of, and keep in mind, the cast members write their own material. They're all in the writers' room. So they're all in the writers' room. So these are all smart people. You have to be. I mean, I'd say you have to be smart to be funny, but then there's me who breaks the rule of that. So, but Paul's smart. Paul's intelligent.
Yeah, Paul's very smart.
Let's see. So let's go back to Gene Simmons, because he's also in the news. How much money do you guys have together? Johnny, Paul, do you got enough money on you in your pocket? Maybe we could scrape together and buy Gene's mansion.
I don't have Gene
Simmons' mansion. Huh?
No.
No? Paul? No? Johnny?
No.
What do you think? Johnny, got your own YouTube channel. What do you think?
No.
Yeah, me neither. I could probably buy the doormat, which Gene will turn me into if I touch his daughter.
I'm assuming that's it right there.
What is that? Doesn't look.
No,
that doesn't look
no,
like
that's
it.
not
it. Doesn't look like
it. Looks like an apartment building.
That looks like CeCe DeVille's house.
Yeah.
Well, then why is that the center of this picture?
I don't know.
Because they're not going to show Gene Simmons' actual house.
What's the address? I mean, it's public knowledge. What's the address? It's for sale.
Maybe it's all three of them.
It's out there. Yeah, Gene's compound. It's for sale.
By the way, people are still asking about my lights being off. My lights are off because I didn't get up to turn them on. That's really what it is, because I'm lazy.
Fruitcake Tony asks, do I date strippers? I mean, I've dated everything from everything to everything. So, I judge everyone on a case-by-case basis. I've dated a radiologist. I've dated doctors, lawyers, dancers, models, you name it. Average, nobody girls. I mean, girl's a girl. She's cool. She's pretty. She's smart.
When is a girl not a girl? When you're in West Hollywood.
Yeah. I can tell you a few examples of times. Let's see. That's not it. There's got to be another photo.
No,
of
that's
that.
not it. No.
Okay, well, I guess it's just a generic picture, I guess, of the Hollywood Hills.
Look else. Maybe John Biel will help you out.
Yeah, John, are you here?
John Biel's here.
Yeah, I saw him in the chat.
I saw him in the chat.
Yeah.
Is there an echo?
Yeah.
No, hey, wait, here's another picture. That has to be it.
That doesn't look like. How many houses does he own?
As many as he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is it. This has to be it. It's like has the views and everything.
I mean,
that's the stash house for the side piece.
Yeah, that's not his main house.
Yeah, that's it. Look.
Okay, that's a different house then.
Then that's why he's selling it, because it's not his primary.
And that's why it's only 2.2 million.
Right, because look at how much room there is around it. Nothing.
Yeah, if you've ever watched Family Jewels, that's a massive house. And not that this one isn't big, but Yeah,
but eventually when San Andreas does a shift, that thing will just fall on the house underneath it.
Yeah, that make no mistake, that house is going to ride down that hill in one good shake.
Jimmy Biter is funny. A hideaway in plain sight in loud blue on top of a hill. Yes, that's how you do it. You hide in plain sight. That's not where people would look. Inside that house is probably a friggin' sex swing and mounds of heroin and perhaps a cage where you keep the pizza delivery girl. I don't know. I mean, people think that if you're going to do something surreptitious or under the radar or criminal, that you do it in a dark, dank corner of a place like you would see in a Batman movie. That's not how it happens. The house next door to you has a woman with a fucking ball gag in her mouth right now, and you don't know it.
Gene Simmons won't be at the No-Tell Motel in Compton walking out. Yeah, he'll just buy an extra house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this place, it only has 4 bedrooms.
Yeah, Gene needs more than that for every girl he does is in a separate bedroom. So he's got, I'll be right back. And then, then he goes to the next room. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a stash house in the middle of the Hollywood Hills that he can go to when he has to do an industry thing or he has to do something in LA, and it doesn't take him 4.5 hours to drive from Chavez Ravine to friggin' Beverly Hills.
Yeah, no, that's an extra house. If you've watched Family Jewels, he has a huge mansion.
No, I mean, all those guys own multiple houses in multiple areas around LA because, again, they've got a meeting someplace. You can't get back to your primary residence if your primary residence is forever away, unless you are, Kobe Bryant and you have a private helicopter on retainer. So I'm sure he has several houses.
A little soon on the Kobe, no?
What? I said if you have a private helicopter on retainer. I didn't say a private helicopter on the side of a hill. That would have been inappropriate.
Oh no.
What? All right, Beane, you've crossed the line.
I know, right? Johnny, this is terrible. Once again, could we start this whole show over? We've all fucked this whole show up. Everything. Black Salami was disappointed, and I think that's Tommy Lee's name. His screen name.
Okay. All right. We'll start over.
All right, hold on. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let's do this again. Hope everyone stays with us.
I'm looking for more pictures of his house.
What's interesting is John Biel is like, Mancuta's calling Paul out.
I know.
He needs to. at this point. He's only doing it because Kobe is beloved in Los Angeles and nowhere else.
Yeah, I don't want the fires in my house. Believe me.
Yeah, Kobe knows where you live.
Hey man, Kuda, on Tuesday you were talking about Kobe. No, my partner was talking about Kobe. Yeah, but that's your night and everything. Oh, hey everyone, welcome to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal. It is Tuesday.
It is 6:23. The first hour and 9 minutes of the show don't exist. They were fake news presented by the deep state.
Yeah, nothing happened. We have a lot of metal talk to talk about. A lot of metal talk, no sports talk. I won't drop any F-bombs for another 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we have some executive producers.
Let's thank our executive producers.
Charles Green, Joe Christian, Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Laz, Mike Nees, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Let's
see who's in the chat today. We got let's see, Renus Pinkle, Jimmy Biter, Krellbar, Jim Nicholas, Nightbook, Crazy Cook 678, SD's Design, Ben Tom, Mr. Hellstorm 74, Susie Cherry, Susie, Blackjack Guitar Nut, Renus Pinkle 69, Cobra Kai Platoon, Mr. Light 1972, Sandra Picorni, Picorni, me love you a long time. Jason Lee, Papa Blue, Nightbot, and the rest. Did we cover everything now? We good?
And it probably says in the chat, there's probably an AS for Arnie Sacknessum. And see, we're one of the only 2 people on the planet that made an Arnie Sacknessum reference. Man, there's a reason why we're friends.
Yeah. Does anyone know that cartoon Journey to the Center of the Earth? Oh no. Oh wait, stop the show. Black Salami says it still sucks. God damn it, we tried so hard. I am sorry.
Your name is Black Salami. Shut up.
I am so salami. Damn.
All right, we'll start again.
One more time.
Try it again. Make this happen again.
Here we go. Okay. Take 3. Last looks. Okay. Cameras up. 20
seconds. All right, we're going in.
20.
That's my makeup.
All right.
15 to live.
All right.
15 to live. Mancuda, state of the script, please.
Jojo, shut up, would you
6.
Please?
No cursing. 3,
oh, no. 2, oh, God, we're starting already.
5. Hey everyone, we are live Tuesday.
Metal.
Hey, brought to you by Bang Energy Drink and Swiss Picks,
which I never get.
Oh, you will.
Yeah, sure, I know.
And listen, we got a new sponsor. We're going to try them out at least. Today's show brought to you by Kroger brand peas. Kroger's sweet peas. Taste the sweet penis in Kroger's sweet peas.
It's safe to say that John Mancuda loves sweet pea.
Oh, sure I do. Drip it all over me, Paulie. Bang Energy Drink Sour Heads. We have a lot of metal talk to talk about. Nothing but metal, but we have a lot of metal talk to talk about today. Phil?
And I don't have my lights on because I'm too lazy to get up.
It's like Groundhog Day. Remember that guy? Phil?
Yeah. And
here's the groundhog.
There's his actual
the rhino. He's got the rhino.
Actual house. That's his actual
house.
compound. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Gene actually lives.
That is a mansion.
Yeah, no shit.
That's a small city.
That's a wife.
It certainly is.
There you go.
You know, I mean, credit where credit is due. They've been together for 40 years.
I have to say, I mean, it's kind of a hedge your bet thing because I guess they had an open relationship for a while. You know, I mean, it's like Gene slept with everything under the sun over the last 40 years, and she stayed with him. So eventually he committed to her. But I mean, you know.
Well, I think you get to, and this is where the old man in me comes out. You get to a point in your life where you realize there are lots and lots of women you'd love to lay down with, but very few you want to wake up next to.
Back in my day,
and she puts up with his shit. And ultimately, that's when it's all said and done. That's what we're looking for: someone who'll put up with our shit.
Yeah, when it comes to girlfriends, wives, spouses, you know, I'm sure girls are in the same position the other way. Yeah, putting up with our shit and loving us for who we are.
Yep. That's when, when you're a kid, you have no idea the benefit of experience, of real life experience, is amazing. I don't know. Again, you've heard the phrase, I wish I knew then what I know now. It's true. Now you're like, and you look at this. Jean, she stayed with him. Keep in mind, she stayed with him during the Hot in the Shade years with that awful wig and that stupid goatee beard when he looked ridiculous. She also stayed with him when he was in Never Too Young to Die. She stayed with him while he was in,
Drag.
while he was in Trick or Treat. She was with him when he was in Runaway. She knows what an awful act. Look, she's the better actor in that family.
She's an actor too.
Well, she's acting like she really doesn't mind Gene shit.
Somebody said that.
Somebody stayed with him after that video that came out of him banging and that chick in the hotel room where you could see his gunt.
Oh my God.
It was just, it was awful. It was awful. And she stayed with him.
Now, I've never been married, but I've had a long-term relationship for 8 years with a girlfriend, but that's as long as I've gone. But I'm looking in the chat. Papa Blue, married 37 years. Black Salami says, my wife wipes my bottom. Let's see. Fruitcake Tony brings up an interesting point. How much strange did Shannon get during those years?
As much as she wanted.
Yeah.
Like keep in mind, here's the thing. Gene Simmons could probably walk into any environment he wanted and find a girl who'd be willing to sleep with him. Sure. Shannon had to beat them all off.
Literally, just like double,
Again, the pterodactyl. He's rocking the pterodactyl.
Ben Tom's happily divorced.
I was with my ex-wife for 26 years. And one day she went, I need a change. And I was like, I wish you best. Have fun.
I'll tell you one thing. You look at some of these rock stars. I brought it up when we were talking about who was it? Mick Mars. You look at Mick, and Mick has like just such a hot, beautiful wife. And you think about it, it's like if you were not a rock star, obviously you wouldn't be getting that quality of girl. And it's like you look at all these guys, and some of them have the most beautiful women, even if it's their second or third or fourth marriage. It's mind blowing. Like just.
I will only point out that Patton Oswalt is currently sleeping with Meredith Salinger. There's hope for all of us.
There it is.
There's a great example of outkicking your coverage. How does that happen?
Let's say Yosinator, 19 years happily married. Hey, good for you. Hey, look, I love a good relationship. You just got to find the right person. Joe Hervey, 2 long-term relationships, 5 years and 7 years. He says, I'm 36. I'm done. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, look, if my ex hadn't left, I'd probably still be married.
Mark Dillon, 20 years. And Blackjack Guitar Nut says, Mancuda, are you saying Black Salami matters? Yes. All of our viewers are important. So we want to try to please every one of them. Jim Nicholas says, one of Mick Mars' ex-wives burned his Eddie Van Halen guitar. You know what? Mick doesn't really care a lot about a lot of his guitars. He smashed a lot of his old BC Riches. Think about that. He just didn't care. He goes through guitars real easy. And he can get more real easily too. So anyway,
that was the thing that Eric Clapton once said, and Pete Townsend also echoed, which was you work your ass off your life to become so proficient at one of these guitars that you can afford to buy them, and then they give them to you for free.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Let's see. So Gene Simmons mansion.
By the way, you're seeing this visual right here doesn't look very good on the camera, but then you realize it's my dog. And I'm sitting here like this, and it's like, that doesn't look very good.
Sausages.
That doesn't look very good at all. And then
didn't we say Mike? What was it? Mike? Whose son was it? Mike Neese's son is watching the show. He's 13, watching all of us jerk off today, except Johnny. Johnny's the only one that hasn't jerked off.
I'm the professional one.
Yeah, Johnny's the only professional one on the whole damn cast. Fruitcake Tony has been divorced for 18 years. Me and my ex are as close as two humans can be who don't touch. Well, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's.
Hey, listen, my parents been married for 1 million years and they don't touch either. Can I have some sex tonight? Now? Ah! They don't touch.
What happened? You remember what happened the last time we had sex? Look at this putz.
Here he is. There he is.
The result. The last time you asked for it, we got this piece of shit.
Well, that's why I don't want to do it again. Yeah, I
had to swallow this kid.
I don't swallow that stuff. Yeah, that's why I had a great conversation with my mom this week. I'm on the phone with her. She's like, "Are you eating?" Because I'm smacking my lips. I say, "Yeah, I'm eating." She's like, "Well, why are you eating while you're talking to me?" I'm like, "Because I'm hungry, Ma." She's like, "Well, what are you eating?" I said, "Peanut butter and jelly out of a jar. I like the goober grape, the striped peanut butter and jelly. I love that
stuff that's pre-mixed in the jar."
Yeah. It's striped.
Too lazy to make a goddamn sandwich.
It's striped, yeah. I love that stuff since I was a kid. I love it. So I happen to have I'm eating a little bit with a spoon. So she's like, "What are you having it on bread? What type of bread?" I said, "No, I'm just eating it with a spoon, just a little snack." She's like, "Why don't you put it on bread?" Yeah, why don't you put it on bread? That you shouldn't be eating it like that. Why am I going to get hurt? Well, the bread, you have a sandwich when you have bread. I know, and I'm not having bread. I'm having a little bit of a snack. She's like, "Well, you should be eating something healthier than that." I'm like, what should I be eating? I'm enjoying my peanut butter and jelly. Let me be. "Well, you should eat vegetables. Broccoli's good raw." I'm like, "I don't want raw broccoli. I'm enjoying my peanut butter and jelly." "Well, broccoli's better for you, though." "But I don't want broccoli." "But it's better for you." "But I'm not looking for broccoli." "But it's better for you." It's like when I say I'm drinking a glass of orange juice. "Oh, so much sugar. You should just eat an orange." "I'm trying to quench my thirst, so I'm drinking juice. But the orange is healthier." "Well, I'll lick up a puddle next time, Ma." It's just unbelievable.
I have a dog issue. He's being rambunctious and just completely fucking up the house again.
Well, that's what they're for. Chris Bevan wants
amazing. There's pillows everywhere and shit all over the floor.
Dildos everywhere?
Not literally.
Dildos and shit on the floor. It was some party.
By the way, Dane Zimmerman's in the chat. Somebody sell that OLP to him now.
Dane.
We can sell that OLP.
Chris Bevan wants to know, tonight's guitar, is it a BC Retch or a Charvel? I'll say it's a Charvel. I won't say which one, but it is a Charvel.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about, speaking of hot wives, Tommy Lee's wife. You got to bring this up, Johnny, because this is pretty funny. Tommy Lee's wife, her name is Brittany Furlan Lee. And she did a little TikTok video recently that she posted up on her Instagram.
She was like an Instagram influencer or something like that.
She's super beautiful, super pretty girl. I mean, Tommy Lee's dated some of the prettiest girls on earth, and this is his wife, and she's doing some little dance, and she does a split, and you just see her suddenly in pain, and she comes up on the screen with the words, "I think I broke my vagina."
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and
which
the
is
thing
what
I'm
every
wondering,
woman says after being with Tommy Lee.
That's what I'm wondering. It's like, so let me get this straight. The split was what hurt, not the fact that Tommy Lee is hung like a baseball bat. Of course you broke your vagina. Tommy shattered it like a baseball bat to a window. Are you kidding me? Tommy Lee, holy Hannah. It's like a baby's arm holding an apple. It's huge, man. And then to add insult to injury, Tommy's in the background cooking, just kind of watching like, what's going on over there? And they have a wiener dog that's the size of Tommy's cock. This wiener dog runs up to her, and I'm like, is that Tommy's cock? Holy hell. Bring up the photo of this.
Of Tommy's wiener? No.
Yes, please.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, listen, if you've been with Tommy Lee, you can expect your vagina to be broken, dismembered, destroyed.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
you've been around Tommy.
What do you have a photo of, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm watching it.
You've been around Tommy Lee. Nicest guy in the world. He really is a nice
guy. Very cool
guy. Oblivious guy. Couldn't
he walks with a limp. You don't realize he's running his own three-legged race.
Well, he has to wear everybody gives Tommy Lee a hard time for wearing, the baggy pants and stuff like that. He has to.
He's gotta.
Yeah.
He's gotta. The guy's got like a guitar neck in his pants. What photo do you got there, Johnny? Because I saw Johnny almost faint in the background. He's like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, I just saw it. We can't show the actual video, but I can
just
play
show a
the audio.
photo. Just show a photo.
That's a good sound.
Yeah.
There's the tech
Always
more
a
on Tuesday
plus.
we were asking for.
Always a plus.
Oh no! Oh
no!
Oh no! Oh, there we go.
What are you doing?
Now the whole show. Now we have to start the show over.
Oh God! There's another.
Gonna have to
There's
start
another
the show over.
fine.
Here we go. All right.
Another fine.
All right. Well, I can't play the audio because of
Hang on a second.
what she has playing.
Getting really quiet on the set. Start the show over.
All right. Jojo, stop it!
Yep.
You can't come on.
Go away.
10 to live, man. Good.
All right. Try to stick to the script. Don't swear in the first 5
Last
minutes.
looks.
All right, here we go.
Last look.
And
Fuck you, Jojo!
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal. It's Tuesday.
It'll be Wednesday eventually.
We've got a lot of metal to talk about in 80s metal today, and we'll make an Arnie Sacknessum reference in about 8 minutes.
Oh my God, Arnie Sacknessum, Journey to the Center of the Earth, right?
Yeah. Vancouver and I are the only 2 people on the earth that make this. I just made an Arnie Sacknessum reference.
Oh, I love that cartoon. If anyone in the chat remembers Journey to the Center of the Earth, let me know.
Here's the thing. It was about this guy who went to the center of the earth, and then there was a cartoon of people. And I always thought that in Shawshank Redemption, when there was the Brooks was here, there should have been an AS and an arrow to be sort of a tribute.
You wanna laugh? No shit. I actually have a background cell of the Arnie Sacknessum sign from the cartoon. And wait. You're not gonna believe this either. I happen to have it right the fuck next to me by coincidence. Check it out.
Look,
holy shit.
And here's the thing. And the direction the dagger is pointing is where Arnie Sacknessum went. I'm not sure you knew that.
That's the same dagger that's going into my career's heart. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Hey, let's get right to metal because we have some new viewers today, and I want to make sure we don't miss
us to talk about anything but metal. So.
Anything but metal. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about Tommy Lee's wife broke her vagina.
Oh, no kidding. Well,
yeah.
She's married to Tommy Lee, so that will happen.
Always. The guy's hung like a bear. It's like a guitar neck in his pants, like a baby's arm holding an apple.
He's hung like a Hyundai.
Oh, look at this. Mike Neese's son he has a 13-year-old son who thinks we're great.
You should call Child Protective Services on Mike Neese right now.
Yeah, listen, Mike Neese, I just got to tell you, if your son thinks I'm great, don't hold it against him. He's 13. He jerks off in a sock. He does a lot of stupid things as a teenager. I'm sure he'll outgrow it. And then when he's 16, he'll be like, holy shit, Dad, that guy was a moron. I used to watch that show.
Yeah,
oh
he probably thinks you're an idiot. Smart kid.
Phil. So we got to talk about Tommy Lee's wife's vagina.
Black Salami, not a fan of the show, thinks it sucks.
Oh man, I'm so sorry, Black Salami, new viewer. Just give us a chance.
Yep,
we're gonna absolutely do this.
We talk about guitars, we talk about 80s metal, and we talk about pop culture.
Yeah, all sorts of goofy stuff. Just it's a funny escape. And I have a show and tell guitar tonight. Your clue is it's pink. I'm just gonna say it's pink.
Is it a celebrity guitar?
Like that. It is not a celebrity guitar, but it is pink. And I will give another clue a little later. No, it's not a Kramer, Johnny. What are you doing? Johnny's blowing the whole show.
Oh God! Now we're gonna have to start over.
No, I don't want to start over. Hey everyone, talking guitars and 80s metal. Welcome. It is Tuesday.
In the ladies' room.
All right, so there's a still from the video right there. There she is on the floor, and then there's Tommy Lee in the background, like making vegetables.
I think no, that's not a zucchini. That's Tommy. That's not vegetables he's working with. That's actually Tommy. Yeah, that's not a zucchini. That's Tommy.
Jimmy Biter says the show has gone downhill since season 3. Well, that's because we lost. We had to do the big Darren Dick York Dick Sargent switch. We had to switch dicks. Everybody knows when you switch. If you switch dicks and nobody notices, you've got a problem.
Yeah, and JoJo is coming on board the staff as Cousin Oliver. So,
by the way, I was watching Terminator 2 the other night.
Great film.
And I'm wondering if Edward Furlong is the
JoJo.
Really?
Yeah, Edward Footlong is supposedly Tommy's other stage name.
Yes. He is. What's the guy's name? The character actor that was on
John Mancuda
on 6 Feet Under. He was also in 48 Hours. The guy that played Gans. Come on,
John Biel.
Oh, it was John Biel.
James
I didn't know
Remar.
he did that. You did that work, John?
Has anybody ever noticed? Take a picture of James Remar, Remar, and then a picture of Edward Furlong in Terminator 2. They are the same person. Edward Furlong should grow up. If genetics are correct, Edward Furlong should grow up to be James Remar. There you go. There's your stupid. That's how you can tell I had edibles the other night. Because that was a connection that I made. I've seen Terminator 2, I don't know how many different times. I mean, fun fact, Danny Cooksey in Terminator 2, former lead vocalist of Bad for Good. There you go.
Oh, right. There you go. Hey, speaking of Bad for Good, we have a little debate we were talking about the other day. FASTWAY, you were talking about them on Saturday. You mentioned, a couple of albums they have. I love FASTWAY too, but we have a difference of opinion on the On Target album. Do you have that handy?
I don't own that one.
I thought you got a copy.
I stopped buying FASTWAY records after waiting for the Roar. I do have the On Target live, but that has David King on lead vocals.
Okay, FASTWAY On Target. They came up with a new vocalist, and I think it was like around 80, probably 88, right around there.
Yes,
that album came out. They came up with a new vocalist, and they inserted more keyboards on there to be kind of more like Bon Jovi at the time. And I love that album. That is my favorite FASTWAY album. I mean, I love I love Say What You Will from the first album, but I didn't take to any of the others as much as I took to FASTWAY's On Target album.
You're a Lee Hart fan?
I'm a Dick Hart fan.
No, Lee Hart was the person that replaced Dave King, hipster doofus lead vocalist for Flogging Molly. Yeah,
if that's who sang the vocals on that album.
Wow,
this album came out, and it sounded to me very Jafria, very House of Lords, very similar to Bon Jovi, which I like a lot.
Can you hear me?
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you on that.
That's a really weird album cover.
Yeah, there's a different album cover. I have a different album cover than that. There's another one, Johnny. There's a gray and blue one, Johnny. See if you can find that one.
Yeah, the FASTWAY records I like are the first two. I like the first two. And the Trick or Treat soundtrack, which is half new, half sort of rehashed stuff off the first album. And then there's a live Say What You Will record that was done on tour and released when people started to pay attention to FASTWAY a second time. Waiting for the Roar is kind of a piece of shit. And then once Dave King left FASTWAY, I lost interest. They did get the kid that sang for the band Little Angels, I think.
Little Angels?
Yes. They do a song called a record called Eat Dog Eat.
That's it right there.
Yeah, that's On Target. And you can tell it's not good because the lead vocalist has got a horrible hairpiece on the top of his head. That thing is a pelt.
I don't care.
It's a merkin.
I don't care what his hair looks like. I love that album. Are there any FASTWAY fans in the chat? I'm just curious if it's just me because
has anybody else heard of FASTWAY?
No, a lot of people have heard of FASTWAY. A lot of people know FASTWAY. I mean, they were, a semi-popular 80s band. Say What You Will is a classic song.
Yep.
I'm curious if there are any FASTWAY fans in the chat though. Chris Bevan is.
Yeah, FASTWAY was a great band. A band a lot like Kicks, although not as successful. Under the radar band, second, third tier band that didn't get quite what they should have. They opened for Dio on the, I think it was the Last in Line tour, and they were great band.
Mike Neese heard the first album, and yeah, the first album is a classic. If you listen to Fastway's first album, the song Say What You Will, if you guys don't know that song, after this show, go on YouTube and check out Fastway Say What You Will. Banana. Everyone knows that song.
Banana?
Yeah, Banana.
Speaking of Tommy Lee.
Yeah, I was in a band that did a cover of Say What You Will as well. It's one of those songs that when you hear it, you're like, oh, I love this groove. This is great. This song should have been bigger. This band should have been bigger. They weren't.
Yeah, I mean, they did the soundtrack to the movie Trick or Treat also.
Right.
But it was a terrible movie with,
awful movie.
Couple of oddball songs for a soundtrack.
Yeah. It was half new music, half rehashed tracks from the debut album.
Yeah, but check it out. I'm curious. Do you guys in the chat like bands from the 80s that have included keyboards? Now, when I say keyboards as part of the lineup, I'm talking Winger had keys, Bon Jovi had keys, Danger had keys, Fastway eventually had keys, Jafria had keys, House of Lords had keys.
I think it has to be part of the original for these bands, for the those 80s bands, has to be part of the original prescription. Like Fastway didn't start out that way. Fastway started out as 3 chords and a bottle of whiskey and very bluesy hard rock. And then they added the keyboards, like so many other bands we've talked about in the past, realizing that, keyboards and pop metal are selling. We should probably do that now.
Let's see. Night Ranger, Jimmy Biter.
Night Ranger is a great example of a band that had keyboards from the word go, and it was fantastic. Night Ranger, a supremely underrated band of their era.
Yeah, for sure. But again, I don't care if they actually start off with it as much as, if they change their sound a little bit. I mean, they got a new vocalist, for frick's sake. So it's like your sound is already changing. So now they added a keyboard. Look, Guns N' Roses added a keyboard player.
Right. Mark Dillon points out Fastway was originally supposed to be Fast Eddie Clarke and Pete Way. Yes, but Pete Way left early in the recording sessions. Pete Way was never really part of Fastway, which is the funny part about the band name, is because he disappeared after, right after the first album was released and was replaced by a guy named Charlie McCracken.
His brother Phil, I know. Phil McCracken. Headstock Harem brings up a good example. Dio. Rainbow in the Dark. I mean, you can't, you're starting out with keys right out of the gate, and then Ronnie James.
Dio was he was in Rainbow with keyboards.
Yeah, so there you go though.
Jane Zimmerman, Eddie Clarke was in Fastway after Motorhead. Motorhead was Eddie Clarke's first real band.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that, again, I know they added it when the band changed up a little bit, but look, good for Guns N' Roses,
Here's why Pete Way didn't stay in Fastway. If you listen to Fastway, all right, and then you listen to Wasted, Waysted, Wasted, which was Pete Way's band after Fastway, you'll see why Pete Way left Fastway, because Fastway went in the On Target direction with the keyboards and the sort of pop Bon Jovi Jafria sound, and Wasted went in a more heavier, hard rock, dirty, almost not quite as heavy as Manowar, but a filthy, sort of dirty sound to it, until Danny Vaughan joined the band, who we know as the lead vocalist of Taiketo, yes. Yeah. And when they did the Say Your Prayers record, that was when Pete Way tried to sell out and get on MTV. And he did for a while. And then Danny Vaughan and those guys realized that dealing with Pete Way, who was a raging alcoholic and very difficult to deal with, they split. And a lot like all the guys in the Vinnie Vincent invasion creating Slaughter because they didn't want to deal with Vinnie Vincent, Wasted, all those guys split and created Taiketo because they didn't want to deal with Pete Way.
Hey, listen, speaking of Vinnie Vincent, the good news is Vinnie Vincent's tour is still on, and he's making the same appearances that he was going to anyway.
Which is none.
So if you still have your Vinnie Vincent tickets, there's still a waste. You still won't get your money back if he doesn't show up. So don't worry about it being canceled for the virus or anything.
You'll get everything you expect.
Yeah, you'll get exactly what you paid for at a Vinnie Vincent concert. What is he here? Vinny? Yeah.
No, he is not.
Yeah, you'll get the same thing.
See that? You didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah,
well,
no.
Papa Blue asked if he's late. Did you start the show? No,
Yeah,
but
no, we're only 5
restart.
minutes in. We're only 5 minutes.
Start the show. I mean, we've only been into the show for 5 minutes. If we need to restart it.
Oh, we've started enough.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Arnie Sackism, Gene Simmons, titties. All right,
Gene,
you're all caught up.
Yeah, Gene Simmons' house. Tommy Lee's wife's vagina is broken.
Vagina.
Every time a new person jumps into the chat, we
Today's
just start
show
over.
and tell guitar will be a pink Charvel. Susie Cherry brings up Deep Purple. Yeah, Deep Purple, another one with keyboards.
Fantastic new album, by the way. The new Deep Purple album, Whoosh. Really well done. Sounds fantastic. It doesn't sound like Perfect Strangers because they're 70 years old, but it is a well-recorded, well-executed. Bob Ezrin got a fantastic sound out of the band, and if you are a Deep Purple fan, and Steve Morse, who has some serious arthritis issues in his hands, delivers fantastic guitar work on the record. It's really good.
Yeah, so there's your Deep Purple news.
John BL says John Lord was great. John Lord is the greatest rock keyboard player in the history of rock. By far.
Better than David Bryan?
John Lord was the best. The best. Better than Keith
and
Emerson.
I like David Bryan, just saying.
Yeah. No, John Lord was awesome. John Lord doesn't get the credit he deserves for being as good as he was. Yes, and Headstock Harem, new Alcatraz album is fantastic as well.
Oh, we talked about that a couple of times. If you haven't heard that yet, you owe it to yourself. The new Alcatraz is a very good album. Yes, Ben Tom, I do actually have some animated cartoon cells. You know how much fucking shit I collect? I literally have stacks of these books.
Is there an Arnie Sackism cell in there? I bet there is. Hang on a second. Let's lay down bets.
There actually is.
Oh, I knew it.
No, I have album after album of these animation cell. I collect so much shit. So much shit. The house is fucking full of just shit I collect.
Dane Zimmerman asked, Ken Hensley, the keyboard player from Uriah Heep, was awesome. Do you listen to any good bands? Uriah Heep sucked.
Top of the heap.
Dan, do you want to sell that guitar?
Yeah, speaking of garbage, Bang Energy Drink.
There you go.
One of our sponsors is always a big supporter of the show. Thank you. Delicious Bang Energy Drink. Get Bang today. And of course, our new sponsor, Kroger's Sweet Peas. Taste the sweet penis. Delicious sweet penis in your mouth tonight with dinner.
Best metal guitar players. Clearly the kid from Dragon Force.
Does he really play a guitar?
Yeah, it was hilarious. I saw Dragon Force in Minneapolis. God, this had to be 15 years ago, back when Zeep was still with them. And they came out, and it was funny because this is the beauty of the music that we love so much. Dragon Force is obviously not a well-known band, and they've been around for 20 years now. And they've got some great guitar players, and they do the twin guitar harmony leads and stuff like that. And I saw them in this club, and it's literally like 2002, maybe 2003 at the time. And the club is packed full of people, and everybody's talking about this. Oh, is Dragon Force going to be good? Because Lacuna Coil opened the show, and Lacuna Coil had a decent following at the time. So Dragon Force comes out, and they start playing, and you could see every jaw and every one of these hipster doofus kids in the crowd, every jaw hit the floor because they'd never seen twin guitar leads before. And then the guy, and I'm not a huge Dragon Force fan, but the kid from Dragon Force puts one of his guitars down and comes out, and he's got a white guitar, Jan Hammer style, with it looks like it's blood stained. It's got the Chris Holmes red paint all the way down the guitar, like blood spilled all over it.
Pud stained is more like it.
And he starts wailing on the guitar, and the crowd was like, yeah! It was like seeing The Darkness for the first time. People were like, I've never seen anything like this. This is the most incredible music ever. I'm like, you should have been there when it was relevant. There you go.
You know what's terrible? I love keyboard players. I think like Casey Smith and Danger and David Bryan and Bon Jovi, and you could go on like keyboards. I like the sound of keyboards in certain hair bands, but I still would not want to see anyone playing keys on a guitar. I'm thinking like, I'm just thinking like terrible images of like cartoon bands, like Jabberjaw or, something like that where they're playing a keytar.
Yeah, I mean, when it's all said and done, the only guy that was ever able to make it work well was Jan Hammer. Jan Hammer was the guy that did it well. But Jan Hammer is the most un-rock and roll looking guy you'll ever see.
I mean, a lot of guys get into bands to get laid. Here's a note for you. If you're the drummer or the bass player, you got maybe like a 50-50 shot at, the ugly groupie left over after the show who got too drunk. If you're the guitar player, you're not even getting the guy driving the bus. I mean, literally, nobody wants the guitar player. You could be the keyboard player and you can get laid. Not the guitar player, no.
But it was fun to see, and respectfully, sort of a name drop. I'm hanging out with a couple of friends, one of whom is Jim Root from Slipknot, and we're upstairs at this bar in Minneapolis, and it was me and my friend Lou, who works for Sirius Satellite Radio, and Jim Root, and Jim and Lou are really, really tight. So we're hanging out and we're watching Dragon Force from up top. And the guy comes out with a guitar solo, and we were like, this is the coolest thing we've ever seen. It was so awesome. Like watching Jim Root from Slipknot, like pump his fist in the air for a guitar solo was like, the irony behind it was fucking fantastic. Just a good night.
Yeah. See, here you are. If you're the singer, you're getting all sorts of pussy. If you're the guitarist, you're getting all sorts. If you're the drummer.
Start from the top. So what's the
Well, if you're the drummer, and let's even just not to be sexist, let's say if you're the drummer, you're getting laid. Because there's a lot of girl players in bands. So if you're the drummer, you might be getting laid. You got a 50-50 shot, not so much. Now if you're the guitarist, you're getting laid multiple times. And if you're the singer, oh my God, you're getting it all over. Now on the flip side, if you're the bass player, you're going home to play with your cat, probably.
Blackjack Guitar Nut's giving me a hard time for my John Lord position.
and there you are on the keyboard player. It's you and the bus driver.
John Lord is better than Rick Wakeman, Blackjack Guitar Nut. John Lord is the best keyboard player in rock. He was the best.
I've got so much deja vu tonight. It's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder why, because we started the show like 7 times.
Why? Are we not doing it right? We could start the show again if we needed to.
Oh, enough.
Show. All right, welcome to the show.
And now it's time for
Do you have a cell automation?
Yeah, I kind of do.
So no, Joe Hervey, not more Slipknot talk. No.
Yeah, we don't really do Slipknot, man. We don't do Slipknot. This is we do metal. We do hair metal and 80s metal and hard metal and
I mean, don't get me wrong. Slipknot, fun band, great band, dude.
Yeah, I'd sooner do Balloon Knot and a butt plug popping out of it. No, we're not doing Slipknot.
Joe Hervey, not really a death metal fan, other than 6 Feet Under. I think 6 Feet Under were fantastic. Other than that, I'm not a huge death metal fan.
And Gizmachi, we like Gizmachi. Are they death metal?
They're not really.
What would they be called? What would Jay's band be called?
They're more. I mean, they're a metal band. I would say, they're almost. They were new metal when they first came out. I would consider them a new metal.
They're harder than thrash. They're harder.
Yeah, they're not. They're just a metal band.
I don't know. We just like Gizmachi. Just pay attention. We like Gizmachi. That's all.
And by the way, bass players do get laid. There are some great bass players. Again, Pete Way was a great bass player. There are some great bass players out there. In fact, we didn't get into it. We'll probably get into this on Saturday night. If you haven't watched Saturday Night Live, we do that every Saturday night from 9 o'clock Pacific to midnight and midnight to 3 a.m. Eastern time. Jay Hannon is really, really mad with me because there was a question going around. NIKKI SIXX proclaimed himself the most underrated bassist in rock history. And
Geddy Lee, anybody?
Yeah, but I pointed out that NIKKI SIXX is a hack as a bass player, and he is. He's a hack as a bass player.
I don't know if he's a hack.
He's a right tool for the job, but not a great bass player.
I think NIKKI's a good bass player. Do I think he's the best? No. I think he's
but is he the most underrated? No.
No, but look, I mean, it's like saying Mick Mars is a guitar player. He's a solid player. But make no mistake, Mick isn't the greatest, virtuoso. He's a good player. NIKKI is also a good player, just as a bass player. I mean, look,
I think he's the right tool for the job. Motley Crue music is not very
well. Tommy Lee has the right tool. Tommy Lee has the right tool for the job.
Right. So, point being, Saturday night we will have. I'm sure. I'm giving Jay several days to get himself in shape, and we will have an angry, spirited discussion on Saturday night. Because I invited him on the show tonight, and he said he couldn't get a word in edgewise. He would feel like Johnny Beane.
Well, make no mistake. As far as bass players go, Gargut's Entertainment brings up a really good point. Gene Simmons slept with so many girls, enough for every bass player out there. Yeah. Even Kip Winger, as good as he's looking, he's like, where'd all the women go? Gene!
Yeah, no, it's a bass players are an essential, I mean, really, really important part of bands. More often than not. Look, if you're a decent bass player, you're always going to have a gig. You're always going to have a gig. Always.
Yeah.
But the question was underrated bass players. So that'll be something on Saturday night that we argue over.
I say Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee, not necessarily underrated as a bass player, but underrated overall based upon the fact that A, his bass lines are fantastic. B, he's also playing foot pedals, keys to accent. So he's playing essentially two instruments at the same time and lead vocals.
And
so yes, overall, that's an underrated. But as a bass player, Geddy Lee gets his props as a bass player.
But I'll say with Jay, I think that NIKKI is a great bass player. He's certainly a good writer.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking
about I'm just saying, I think he's a really solid bass player. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's good. He's really good, but that's as far as I'm going with it.
But Motley Crue is not intricate, layered, fantastic bass lines. I mean, guys like Tom Hamilton wrote better bass lines than NIKKI SIXX has. I mean, you talk about right tool for the job. Again, any other guy playing bass in Motley Crue doesn't work. NIKKI SIXX playing in any other band doesn't really work. 6 a.m., Brides of Destruction, It just didn't happen. Didn't happen for him. He's done everything. He is Motley Crue's bass player and nothing else.
Well, here's some other names thrown in the chat. Billy Sheehan, Michael Anthony.
Probably
Michael
underrated.
Anthony, I'd say, is underrated.
Probably underrated. He's jazz trained, but he doesn't get the credit he deserves because when you're in a band with Alex Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, and David Lee Roth, it's like being the ugly chick in Drain STH. You could still be the hottest girl in the room, but you're in a band with 3 other hot chicks.
Joey Vera, Donald Dunn.
Joey Vera is a great underrated bass player. Fantastic. Armored Saint, super underrated bass player.
Susie Cherry brings up Geezer Butler. Absolutely underrated.
Geezer Butler, if people don't realize, Geezer wrote all of the Sabbath lyrics as well. Ozzy didn't write any of that stuff. Geezer wrote that stuff. And that brings us to Bob Daisley, who's also a super underrated bass player.
Ozzy didn't know where he was. Right. Sharon just pushed him toward the microphone. Go on, sing. I want some money. Sing. Because she cannot help me with my mind.
Geezer's a fantastic bass player.
Yeah, very
Stanley
underrated.
Clarke is not underrated. Papa Blue. Stanley Clarke is just not known because he's a jazz bass player, but he's fantastic, and everybody knows. Everybody that knows music.
Cliff Burton, absolutely
Not underrated.
Oh, I think so.
No.
Really?
No, I don't think any of those people. I think if you know their name, they're not underrated.
Exactly.
Yeah. I still don't hear his name in a lot of circles other than, he was early Metallica. I don't hear anyone like crowing about his skills, and I think he was tremendous.
Well, no, I mean, all you have to do is think of Orion and Pulling Teeth. I mean, how many other bands reference bass solos? How many other bands can reference a bass solo on a record? Cliff Burton's the only guy. Name another bass solo on a record. Other than, I mean, obviously,
not counting like Flea or something.
Oh yeah, Billy Sheehan's NV33EE45 is a solo that nobody but me knows.
Well, Gene Simmons, I'm sure, has
a bass solo on a record.
Doesn't he have a solo somewhere live? No,
but not on a record.
Maybe not on one of the.
Yeah.
I'm trying to count all the Kiss Alive records.
What about his solo record?
Did he do it? I don't think he did a bass solo on the solo record, did he?
No, there is no bass solo on the solo record.
Why wouldn't all his solos on all his songs just be bass solos?
You would think, yeah.
Well, a nominal fee, you know, it's all about the nominal fee.
Nominal fee, yes. Flea is not an underrated bass player. Flea might be an overrated bass player.
Hang on, St. Christopher. The Bullet Boys song.
Well, it's a Tom Waits song.
Not in my world, it's not.
Yeah, John Windsor, you're the only other guy that knows that that's Billy Sheehan's name upside
Bootsy
down.
Collins. Bootsy Collins.
Bootsy Collins, not underrated. Revered. Very,
yeah.
I mean, you know, in the funk world, everybody, again, you can name Bootsy Collins and people go, oh, Bootsy Collins.
Yeah.
That means they're not underrated.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
What about
we say Madame every year.
Jason Newsted, maybe?
Newsted, I don't know that he was. Newsted was, again, is in another situation, kind of like what we were talking about with
the ugly
Van Halen and stuff. Yeah, there's nothing Jason Newsted can do to get out from the shadow of Cliff Burton. Jason Newsted has the misfortune, and make no mistake about it, great bass player, but Jason Newsted has the misfortune of not being Cliff Burton and then being replaced by Robert Trujillo. Like, you look at
Robert's an underrated bass player. I'll say that.
Bass player.
I'll say that.
Phenomenal bass player. The idea, there's a great one, Jesus Rapes Me. Tina Weymouth from the Talking Heads. Fantastic bass player. Nobody knows. Victor Wooten. Nobody knows who Victor Wooten is. Thrash metal. Another great one.
By the way, hello to Linny Lou and Mary. The show wasn't the same without you.
You know, the idea that a bass player is a non-essential part of a band is just a joke amongst musicians. But a bass player, I mean, The Who without Entwistle, Zeppelin without John Paul Jones, and even, I know this is going to sound funny when I say it, AC/DC without Cliff Williams. Cliff Williams is the right tool for the job. Not a great bass player, the right bass player in that scenario. And yeah, Les Claypool is a phenomenal bass player, but most people don't know who he is, and he's not underrated.
Okay, you know, I got two. Bruno Ravel.
Maybe.
I think definitely underrated. And he's a writer, tremendous writer, and producer. I mean, he's multi-talented. And this is going to sound crazy, but Jerry Dixon of Warrant, I think, is out of the left field, underrated. He's very, very good.
James Lomenzo, Juan Lanzavecchia. Sorry about that, Juan. James Lomenzo.
Ole la vecchia, o se la vecchia, weda la vecchia, o Juan Lanzavecchia, James Clemenza.
Chris Squire, not underrated ever. Chris Squire is not an underrated bass player. He's a phenomenal bass player, one of the greatest of all time. John Young, somewhat underrated. The prog rock kids know who it is, but most people don't. Yeah, I'm in the darkness here all of a sudden.
I believe in a thing called love. Just leave it in my heart. You're into the darkness, he said.
Well, I will tell you, I had one of the best times at one of the Darkness's first shows in America in Seattle, early 2000s. My program director, the radio station I worked at in Sacramento, shout out to 98 Rock, fantastic radio station.
98 Cock.
My program director, his wife was the Atlantic Records rep, and the Darkness were on Atlantic Records. So we got flown up to Seattle to see the Darkness. Fantastic.
Wait till you're under my steering wheel and I'm bouncing it like a basketball. Stick around, Susie.
So we're in there you go. We could do a sing-a-thon. We could just get people to just pay us.
Oh, thank you, Music Therapy Laz. Music Therapy Laz.
We're at this awful hipster doofus club in Seattle, and it's packed because the legend of the Darkness was that these guys were the must-see band of their time. So they come out, and of course, Justin is in the unitard, and it's straight out of The Darkness is a great time. The Darkness is Steel Panther, but they're not joking. And they come out and they start playing, and you can just see it. Everybody in Seattle has got their arms crossed, and they're like, "All right, impress me." About 20 minutes into the show, their arms are down, and people are just sort of tapping their hands a little bit. About 40 minutes into the show, you start to see the head start to bob a little bit. By the time the darkness said good night to everybody, the fucking people had shirts off and they were spinning them over their head. They walked up, they're like, "This is the greatest night I've ever had." It was so good. It was so good. It was such a great show. And then they get it. Yes. Well, we could start the show over.
Oh no.
We needed to. It's not doing well. So we could.
iHeartRadio is about to drop us as is.
So anyway, good night, everybody. It's been a great show.
Great show. Don't even tease. Everyone will be like, "Where's the show and tell guitar?" It's coming in a minute. Actually,
I'm afraid we had to do a
just like me during sex. It's coming in a minute.
We had to do an abbreviated version of the show tonight. We're sorry. If you've missed anything, there'll be a rebroadcast. Unfortunately, it'll have to be edited because
7 of them.
He swore 5 minutes into the show, so we're gonna have to cut 2 hours and 14 seconds on the show.
Not even 5 minutes. It was like the first 4 seconds of the show. I dropped it. It's like right there. FCC fine. A ding. There you go. I have screwed us.
Ooh, I like the reference. Papa Blue with a give me a C. Except it's a B. Give me a B.
Give me a C. A bouncy C.
Yeah. John Makuta was singing a ting about a ting and whatever the hell else you want to do.
Yeah,
little Martin Short reference.
Martin Short was it Martin Short and Billy Crystal, I think, right?
Yeah. Give me a C. A bouncy C.
They're the Jewish galley. It's an old SNL skit for those that don't get the reference. Yeah, look on YouTube under "Give Me a Bouncy C." It's Martin Short and Billy Crystal.
Martin Short, brilliance.
Yeah,
there's a guy who's underrated. When we were talking about underrated bass players, underrated comedian Martin Short.
If he played bass,
anywhere near the love. Yes, if he could play bass,
he would
play a bouncy C, I think.
Everyone loves a bouncy C or a double D or
I was going to say a bouncing D would be good.
Those are some of my favorites. Although I never met a letter I didn't like. My whole mind works like a Sesame Street. Yeah. Later on, coming up in the show, because we're about to do show and tell. So I want to give everyone a little coming up. Coming up, learn the bullshit behind the lyrics to the song that ruined heavy metal forever in the 80s. More news about Dee Snider, David Lee Roth. The news.
Are you going to talk about Bang from Gorky Park?
No, even worse.
No such song.
Don Dokken in the news, Sharon Osbourne and Ozzy in the news, Joe Hoekstra in the news, Chris Holmes, big story in the news, and Tommy Lee's 6 a.m. in the news. Coming up after show and tell guitar, which I'm going to break out right now. So here we go, boys and girls.
Let the dogs out.
Let the dogs out. Ooh. Yeah. Anyway, I said to everyone, today's guitar was a pink guitar. I let it slip already that it was a Charvel. This was a guitar I got one Christmas from someone very special, and it is a very sentimental favorite of mine. And I broke it out the other day, and really just love this guitar. I fell in love with it when I first saw it in someone else's collection, and my ex-girlfriend got it for me, and it was a wonderful Christmas. So here and now, just look at that thing.
That's pink.
You bet it is, baby. This is Pink Pearl. It's a Charvel Strat head, San Dimas Strat head. This thing is so freaking great a player. And again, a little bit of dirty maple. I try to keep my hands clean, but you know how sweat gets. And just super fun. With the Strat head, with the gold tuners, custom shop. And as you know, when Fender took over Charvel, they put on that little warning of Fender owns the property of this headstock, and they let the custom shop do it again. So This is a custom shop guitar. San Dimas. This is lovely pink pearl. Has a real gold Floyd on that baby. It's like a metallic bubble gum. It's just like really, really pretty. I call it bubble gum. It's got a gold Floyd with little black fine tuners on there. Look at that bad boy. Let's see. You have a Seymour Duncan pickup. You have a little brass single knob. I love the one volume, one humbucker layout. You know, it's just like, that's always my favorite thing. Tuners, let's see. Let's see, are these Spurzels? I'm just trying to see.
No,
they
were Spurzels.
They could be.
You mean Godo? Godos?
So whatever you want.
Shallow?
These are Godos. It's hard to read the little writing. I mean, you try it at home. See how fast.
It's a Godo. Oh, those are the locking Godos?
They're just regular tuners.
Look at the top. Oh, okay.
Standard
yeah, because they have locking ones as well.
I know these aren't.
That's why I wondered, because you asked.
These ain't them. These ain't them. You do have a gold locking nut though, which I think looks cool. I love gold trim on pink. I think it looks really great. And again, if you haven't played a Charvel Strat neck, these are so freaking good. These are like the original Super Strat shredders. These are so freaking good. These are really great. You know, you have the skunk stripe. It's about probably, say about maybe 8 pounds. Like a nice solid weight. Little brass studs, brass trim, brass insert. Mickey Settlemeyer says it's the best pink looking one of your whole stash. I got a couple hundred guitars. Stick around, man. But I appreciate that.
What year is that again?
This one's 2006. This is when they brought back the San Dimas Custom Shop.
Right.
And this was one of the earlier ones they made. And,
same people that made the EVH art series.
They made a lot of good stuff. The Custom Shop, I can't even say enough how good this is, because they're the same guys that built them from 1979 on. You have Mike Shannon and Red Dave signing off on this guitar in 2006 when they were still building them in 1979. You know, and I love that they brought back the Strat headstock for the San Dimas guitars, because, and I just showed, we talked about this on the show before, the little, this is our property Fender. Yeah.
Yeah. And you leave that on there. You
absolutely don't take it off. That's part of the guitar. But you know, again, obviously my color scheme, but I love maple necks. Maple is, people always ask me what my favorite wood to play is. Maple, 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 maple. Sure. I love ebony, rosewood's fine, but maple, and when it gets smooth and dirty and it gets broken in, there's nothing that feels the same way as a maple neck, to me anyway. I like that bright tone.
It's funny because people always talk about cleaning their guitar neck, and it'd be interesting to hear, Johnny Beane, your thoughts on this as well. When you've got a maple guitar neck, do you let it, quote unquote, season with your finger dirt and gunk and stuff like that? Or do you clean it? Because I know you clean a rosewood one because you want to oil the rosewood. You want to oil an ebony neck.
Different wood. Oil and ebony dry out and they crack if you don't oil.
Yeah. But with a rosewood, it's almost like cleaning a cast iron skillet. It's seasoning, like that finger grease and whatever it is, the dirt and the gunk that you get on a maple neck almost gives it a little bit more character and feel like a well-worn in pair of boots or a baseball glove that you've worked in. You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference for me for a maple neck versus a rosewood or an ebony neck. Those ones you want to keep clean because obviously the dirt and the oil and all that stuff, you need to sort of keep those things a little bit better. But I always find that a dirty, worked in, beat up maple guitar neck is the sign of like seasoning. It's got
it plays faster, it's smoother. It's smoother, it's faster. I mean, make no mistake, my favorite wood to play with is my morning wood. And I see
clearly,
that
yeah.
I oil that wood.
That's an awful generous stroke. That's a generous stroke there.
Yeah, well, I can only go one fret,
I
actually.
was going to say 2 frets at best.
Well, one is more the reality. That's why my mic is so big. I overcompensate.
Yeah. Two frets is in the summertime when it's warm and you're really excited. 2 frets.
Yeah.
And that's what frets. By the way, fret sprout is what John Mancuda calls his penis.
That's my stage name in my other business. No, but I always feel that it does make it smoother. It does make it faster when it's broken in.
Yeah.
When it's dirty.
It's interesting because, again, clearly you keep your guitars in good shape, and you want to keep them clean, and you want to keep them, you want to keep the dirt and shit out of the working mechanisms and stuff. But the neck seems to be, on a maple neck guitar, is always the exception. I mean, get that thing grungy and filthy, because those are the years that go into making it good.
Well, here's the thing.
It's like your favorite baseball bat. You sort of work it in,
You look on this one, it's hard to capture on camera. You could see it's breaking in, but it's not super dirty, but you can see it's dirty. It's getting dirty. But again, I'm not doing a lot of sweating in my house. My AC's on. I don't play on stage. I'm not playing it after I eat a plate of chicken wings. So it's like, it gets dirty with some oils for my fingers, but it's not getting like a lot of sweat and smoke and drinks spilled on it and shit like you would playing in a club.
A rosewood neck or an ebony neck. So you can sort of see some of the gunk, the finger gunk, and the shine on that, because you can and it's always down at the end where the cowboy chords are played on an acoustic. There's always shit here. There's never any shit up here on an acoustic, but you can see it if you can see that where that shine is. See where the finger shit is and the oil shit is, because I don't clean my acoustic neck. I beat the shit out of this guitar. But the point being, with a maple guitar, that gunk and that seasoning is almost part of the character of the guitar.
It is. It breaks it in. You can tell when you get a new guitar with a maple neck, how it feels and how it breaks in versus, when you feel it like, brand new, you know how it's going to get. It's going to start off a little slow, but after like a year, 2 years, 3 years, you'll feel it just breaking in, and it'll feel like an old pair of tennis shoes. Just so comfortable.
I will disagree only slightly in one respect. When you pick up a maple neck guitar and it feels great from the minute you pick it up, buy that fucking guitar. Like there's the new, and we're talking about Charvel. The stuff that they do out of Mexico is as good as a guitar can be off the line for the value, for the money that you're getting. And I say this because one of our friends in the chat, who's in here once in a while, Rico, has a 2019 Mexican San Dimas at our friend Dane Zimmerman's shop that I picked up yesterday and played it. And it was like, oh my God, this thing feels perfect right off the rack. And it's only a year old. Like if you get a guitar, a maple neck guitar, and you pick it up and it feels comfortable and worn in, buy that guitar, because it's reaching out to you saying, this is a well-made instrument. When it feels like it's worn in and it's been broken in and like an old pair of tennis shoes or a comfortable pair of jeans or whatever it is, that's a sign of well-made guitars.
Yeah, because it plays
Charvel is doing it.
That means it plays nice. And it's broken in because someone recognized that it played nice and they played it to death. And that is a sign of a good guitar. Let me just stop the show because false flag, Steve Supermas, wishing you well from down under in Indonesian rupiah. You are now loaded. Stay safe. Thank you so much, brother. A massive donation to keeping us on the air.
I'm going to guess it's Steve Supermas. Am I getting it right, Steve? Just let us know in the chat if I
Supermas.
Yeah. That sounds good, but good for you, man. Thank you so much for.
Thank you very, very much, man.
That's very cool. And no, to answer Joe Hervey, it's not $150. It's about a $700 guitar. They retailed for almost $1,000 when they came out. And it's that beautiful, like blue flake San Dimas. And I'm really starting to get a real affection for the newer Charvels.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh, no. I'm getting an affection for a big piece of wood, boy.
But I'll tell you, the guitar that Mancuda is holding is essentially the same guitar that the EVH Art Series guitars are out of the Charvel Custom Factory. And they are as good a guitar. I mean, they're fantastic guitars. They're great.
Are those are also USA custom shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were the first when they brought the custom shop back. The first guitars they made were the Art Series, the EVH Art Series.
Yeah, make no mistake. The custom shop is not cheap, but they are so good. I mean, they are just so fucking good.
Well, that's the value you get for custom shop. You pay a premium for most guitar manufacturers' custom shop guitars. Like I would say the custom shop and Gibson, like all Gibsons, are going to be overpriced because it's Gibson. It's like anything else. You're paying Lamborghini. You're paying for the name on the headstock. The guitar, the value of the guitar in the custom shop versus the regular line, the difference, the return on investment is minimal at best. The difference between a custom shop Charvel and a production shop Charvel, is a $2,000 guitar for $999. A Charvel custom shop guitar is a $5,000 guitar for $2,400 guitar for $2,400. It's amazing the value that you get from those.
It's really, really, really good.
They're really well-made guitars.
And again, I've said this before, playing is in the fingers. I'm not a great player.
Yeah, but you can feel it though. There's a difference between picking up a good guitar and a shit guitar. That's why they say buy the best guitar you can buy.
I'm just saying that, like, I like the USA made guitars. That's me. Unless you're talking ESP or Ibanez, then I want it from Japan.
Right.
But personally, most of my collection are USA, vintage USA, USA custom shops, whatever it is. I like USA made guitars.
Right.
With that said, there are import guitars that someone else could play circles around me and make sound amazing. Eddie Van Halen could go into a pawn shop and take $100 shit box and make it sound thousands of times better than a $5,000 custom shop. No,
you're absolutely right. But that said, if you're somebody who's buying a guitar, like let's say we've had a couple people ask us about people that are just starting out on. By the way, did anybody notice that the it looks like Arnie Sacknesson, $30 on the Steve Sapornis? Looks like an Arnie Sacknesson donation. That's a reference from another show. But we always say, they always tell you, buy the best guitar you can afford. And if you're buying for somebody who's a new guitar player, buy them the nicest guitar that you can afford. Don't spend, $1,000 on their first guitar, but don't buy the $99 shit special, because if they pick up a guitar and it's not well made and it doesn't feel well, they're not going to be inspired to play it. You're better off just going into a shop like Dane's and grabbing a secondhand guitar like that OLP for $150, or he's got a Japanese Jackson in there for like $200. You know what I mean? So pick up the best guitar your money can buy.
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah. Now that guitar right now on the used market is going for over $3,000.
Well, I got this because you were talking about the maple necks.
The neck and beating, and see, that's seasoned.
Mine is totally seasoned, man.
Well, you jerk off on that thing?
I've toured with
that's how it should be.
But that is how it should be. Keep in mind, if I only had a few guitars, my guitars would be more broken in. I rotate guitars all the time to play every week. So it's like,
I do the same thing.
I'll never I'll buy guitars like Johnny has, but that wasn't all my wear. This is all my wear because I got this neck very clean. But like Johnny, you can see that's like years of like real solid earned playtime street cred,
Or he just doesn't wash his hands.
Yeah, Johnny eats a bar. Johnny goes to a barbecue place and then plays guitar in the parking lot.
But that's how a maple neck should look. It should look like it's been stepped on a little bit.
Loved. It looks like it's been loved. No,
SD Design brings up a great guitar. Deane Cadillac, fantastic guitar.
Never been a Deane fan.
The Cadillac is the guitar that Elliot Easton plays. It looks like it's their version of the Les Paul.
On a Cadillac, look at that Cadillac, look at that.
Little Stray Cats reference.
Oh, there you go. So that's
night, Tony.
Today's show and tell guitar. Thank you, Tony. That's today's show and tell guitar.
Let me want some love.
Metallic bubblegum. Metallic bubblegum. Sandy Miss Charvel custom shop. Single hum, single volume. Love this fucking thing.
It's a great guitar.
That's today's show and tell guitar. Let's get a little thumbnail action there. Ooh.
I love the gold hardware on it too.
Yeah, the gold gives it a real
pops.
special look. I really like that. I fell in love with it, like, and the girl that gave it to me at the time, at first sight. So pretty amazing. Happy. And again, it goes
guitar.
nice with this pink Swiss pick that I highly recommend everyone try. If they haven't, go to SwissPicks.com.
I should have actually said that in Randy Macho Man Savage voice. I hate you, John Mancuda. I hate you with everything I am, Mancuda.
Dad, is that you?
I hate you.
Dad?
I'm sitting here thinking about Mancuda and his pink guitar. Yeah, just working his fingers up and down the neck. Yeah.
Sounds like my father on his deathbed.
Son, come closer.
Dad,
I've got to tell you something before I go.
Johnny, come here.
Yeah, Dad. What is it, Dad? Anything?
You were adopted.
Hate you.
I want to tell you, your mother is not really your mother.
Your mother was a hooker.
What?
You were a test tube baby. Give me a C, a bouncy C. John Mancuda was a seaman and a thing with the ting.
He was something that tripped out of the condom.
And whatever the hell else you want to call it.
I do this move because this is what your mother did to me when you were born.
Give me a seaman, a bouncy seaman.
Oh, no. A bouncing seaman.
And my father is probably like Freddy Krueger. I'm the bastard son of a thousand rapists in prison.
The suck part about it is going to be.
Gosh.
The suck part about it is going to be when
my mother watches the show.
When Martin Short's lawyers get us for trademark infringement for doing for one of his characters.
Yeah. Mancuda, listen about that bouncy C bit.
Yeah.
No, I didn't authorize that, and you kind of just did the whole thing right there, rhythm and all.
Your mother was a man.
What? Wait, what?
You're adopted.
Rosebud.
Yeah, Rosebud.
What the fuck does that mean, Dad? What does it mean?
It wasn't a dream. I did touch your penis when you were a kid.
Oh my God.
What?
Your middle name is prostate.
You were named after the proctologist that fucked your mom.
Jesus rapes me asking a good question. What is the most valuable Music Man EVH guitar if you bought original and stored under your bed? I have
let me look under the crusty socks and porn mags that are stuck together under there, and I'll let you know.
I have the second production made pink EVH Music Man. The first prototype went to Eddie. The first production model went to, I think, a doctor somewhere. I have the second production pink Music Man, non-faded. However, somebody did modify. It was a modification, kind of like Jerry Cantrell, where they routed out the trem so that it's full floating and not locked against the body. So it's a full floating trem on a pink EVH Music Man. And then I also have the very last translucent black Music Man, Eddie Van Halen Music Man, ever made on September 27th, 1995. So I have one of the first and one of the last Music Mans of a certain color ever made. I would say those are probably the most valuable Music Mans I have.
Nice. I didn't even know you had those.
Oh yeah, well, no, I don't, because showing guitars on the show is your thing.
Well, showing my penis on the show is my thing too, and they keep coming back. Let's see. Susie Cherry's been getting into picks lately. Picks is so much fun. Try Swiss Picks. And speaking of Swiss Picks, Paulie, good news. Linny Lou sent a Swiss pick to Johnny to forward on to you. Let's see which one gets there first. Swiss pick from Linny Lou or Swiss pick from the owner of Swiss Picks.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Let's see.
Jesus rapes me. Jesus rapes me. I do have a purple Music Man, but like so many Music Man guitars, the headstock is somewhat faded versus the body because they were not matched. The necks were not color matched with the bodies. It's very common to have a body that was painted that trans amber color, made in 1991, matched with a neck that was painted in 1993.
Yeah,
put together for the guitar. They put them in separate boxes. They were not matched. Like a lot of guitar companies will take the neck and body and start from scratch and start building the guitar and match them at the end. Music Man didn't do that.
If you looked under here, if I took this off, you'd see two different dates. One on the neck, one on the body.
Yes.
They're not the
very
same.
common with Music Man. And so early on in the issues with Music Man guitars is the UV protection on the paint was piss poor. And essentially, if you leave a Music Man guitar, one of those Eddie Van Halen Music Man guitars, out in the sun, it will fade, and each guitar will look different. Some of them fade to completely different colors. Like the purple ones will sometimes fade to black, or they'll fade to an almost natural with a purple, almost a purple sunburst edge to them.
The
like
purple
that.
nurple is what they call it.
Yes.
The purple nurple.
But a lot of them aren't matched. A lot of them, I mean, my red one is matched. My pink one is matched. Like most of my guitars, my Music Mans are matched. But my purple one, the headstock is a little bit more faded than the body. And that's a very common thing. So if you're thinking about going out and buying one, that's a common thing. Don't let that be something that keeps you from buying it. It is indicative of that. And it's actually a sign that it's a genuine EVH Music Man as opposed to an Axis that has been converted. Always get the serial number because Music Man EVH guitars are very high priced and they're now becoming very commonly faked. So if you don't know who you're buying from, be very careful buying one of those EVH Music Mans on the secondary market.
And speaking of getting
you
fucked,
got to know what you want.
Speaking of getting fucked in the ass, Susie Cherry brings up Joe Hervey 84. I wish you the best. I know you've had some rectal pain, and I've prayed for you.
No, that's dental pain. Dental.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
not the same. Yeah,
I keep thinking of where I put my cock in Joe Hervey.
Right, I understand that. Yeah, I know both two-syllable words, but different. Big difference. So it's kind of like the difference between oral and rectal thermometer, although you wouldn't care.
Yeah, well, the rectal thermometers don't taste as good.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Actually, it's a bulbous end, but not a point.
Papa Blue asks if the Sterling Axis guitars are good. Yeah, they're good for the money. Anything that Ernie Ball licenses their name to or has manufactured is fairly good. Same thing with G&L. There are certain guitar companies that have quality control that will not let bad guitars out of their factories, whether they're Asian imports or not. And then there are other companies who just don't give a shit and farm it out to other companies, and quality control doesn't matter. Music Man, Ernie Ball Music Man, because it's still run by Sterling Ball and because it's still a family company, they still give a shit that their name is on the headstock.
I just noticed Amanda Coombs just walked in the room, so in the chat rather. So, sorry, it's my natural reaction when I see that.
Understandable.
Sorry. Hey, Amanda, how are you? And hey to whose name did I just see?
By the way,
Christopher Leskis?
Yeskis?
Christopher Yeskis?
Okay. Yeskis? I'm not sure. I'm not how to pronounce it.
Sorry,
By the way, Black Guitar Nut says you can clean that maple neck with lighter fluid and it will just be pristine. You don't want to clean that neck. You never want to clean that.
You do not want to clean that neck.
Lighter fluid.
Yeah. And then heat it up while you're doing it.
Those frets won't pop out at all.
I've only cleaned that neck like 3 times.
Don't even bother.
Since I've owned it.
Why ever? I knew a guy that had a vintage pre-pro Charvel, beautiful vintage Charvel with like the dirtiest, most broken in neck. And at one point he sold it to another guy. And I said, "Oh man, you got that guitar, you got that beautiful black and white bullseye. That thing is so hot. Hey, send me some photos of it." And he's like, yeah, I just took new photos of it. I just cleaned it up. I'm like, oh, okay. And he said that to me, the neck was sparkling like new. And this thing had like 40 years of perfect broken in wear on it. He's like, it took me forever to get this shit clean. I used steel wool and some oil. And I'm like, oh my God, you ruined it.
It's the guitar necks are a lot like, I don't know if there's anybody in the chat, and I don't do it. I don't do it, but people who coin collect. There are people who take coins and they try to take coins and they wash the silver. they dip the silver and try to get the shine back on the thing, not realizing that patina and the way that it ages and the way that there's gunk in all of the grooves and stuff are what give it its condition. Now, obviously, you want one in as mint condition as possible, but coin collectors, they advise you don't do that because it also takes a layer of the finish, the natural finish off of it. Same thing with vintage guitars. Can you imagine somebody paying $300,000 for a 59 Les Paul and then putting fucking Seymour Duncans in it? What are you doing? Like if you buy, or buying a vintage car, like you buy, I don't know, buy a 68 Dodge Charger and then putting a brand new turbo underneath the hood. You don't do that.
Repaint it.
You don't do that. You're buying it because you're buying it. There's a reason. There's touching up the Mona Lisa. Like, why would you, or the Sistine Chapel? Like, you can't. You don't do that.
You want to maintain the condition of something. You want to preserve the condition of something. You don't want to alter, modify, or redo the condition of something.
If it's a vintage guitar, leave it alone.
Yeah, Poo Ninja brings up antique furniture also, same thing.
If you want a guitar that you can mod, go buy a Squire and mod it. Go buy, if you want to buy, you want a great guitar you can mod, buy a Mexican Strat, buy a Mexican Charvel. If you don't, but the Mexican Charvels don't need to be touched. But buy a Mexican Strat, buy a mid-level guitar, and then because you know that they've made 10 million Mexican Strats. So who gives a shit? But if you've got an actual 57 or 62 Stratocaster, leave it the fuck alone. Don't touch it. You can't improve it. That's not why you bought that guitar.
You know what, though? As far as like a lot of 80s guitars, though, in the 80s, everyone was modding everything. There's not a problem with certain mods as long as you can return them to original if it's something of value or something. Because a lot of people, guitars are tools. Much like the users, they're tools.
No, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a vintage guitar.
I know what you're saying. I know you're saying a 59.
Because of the sound and the way it sounds, and you bought it for that reason. Because if you pick up a guitar and it speaks to you, then that's why you bought the guitar. But if you pick up a guitar, like you bought one of these BC Rich gunslingers, right? And it's not perfect, but you love the gunslinger. Fine, buy it and mod the shit out of it.
Change out the pickup, just anything you can undo is fine. You want to FU tone it? I can think of 1,000 FU tone guitars that are terrific and better that you can undo if you want to, if it's something that's collectible as well.
Right. There are some that say though, and I don't know that I'm one of those, but there are some people that believe that if you break the original, welds or anything that's original, the pots or anything like that, that it immediately, even if you replace it back to normal, the solders, if you break the original solder joints, that suddenly the guitar doesn't have value anymore.
Yeah, with the super vintage stuff.
You don't want to break the solder.
50s, 60s, any of that stuff. You don't want to. Those collectors, they don't want any of that stuff touched.
Yeah, and Susie Cherry, I'm not swinging at that. You throw a good pitch, and I'll swing at it.
What did she throw?
She threw me an easy joke, so it was too easy. She's just like, she's like, I threw Mancuda a softball. Oh, here it comes. Everyone back in the outfield. Everyone back up. Nah, I'm letting it. I'm balling that one. I'm gonna go for a home run.
I love music therapy lads, but Gibson's authentic tone polish makes your guitars seem even better. Yes, of course they do.
Yeah, Gibson also thinks they're the original. No, I'm sorry. No.
Anybody else lagging, or is it just my internet?
It's just my career.
I don't know. It looks somewhat normal to me.
All right.
Well, speaking of abnormal,
I'll be right back.
Okay, let's go into David Lee Roth. He's always put up a lot of paintings that expresses feelings politically and about things in his life and whatever. So he just came out with a new one. See if you could punch this up, Johnny. David Lee Roth did one called School Opens, the Daily Catastrophe. So this is his view, basically saying, don't open schools right now. It's too dangerous. So he painted this, the multi-talented David Lee Roth.
Say, I'm scrolling.
Scrolling. The ball is rolling. Scrolling. My jizz.
Oh, was this it? Here it is. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Let's see. David Lee Roth's masterpiece. For someone that's hot for teacher, he's not big on school reopenings. Here it is. There it is. David Lee Roth's answer to should we open schools? Love it. Never want to shy away from controversy, are you, Dave? The Daily Catastrophe. Love it. I love the face mask in the back. So Dave does not want the schools open. Just adding to the pile of don't open schools yet. And then let's see. Let's go into
having a internet drag here. I may have to tap out.
Okay.
I'm getting stuff. Everything's pixelating and freezing.
How many fingers am I holding up?
I can't tell because the thing hasn't come up yet. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're moving. It's like, you know what it's like? Remember back when you would watch porn as a kid?
What, remember?
Like
what are you talking? Remember?
No. The early days of porn when they would have.
I'm doing it now on the other screen.
They would have the hidden microphone in the shower, and it would be the girl, and it would be. And you got like a photograph like every 7 seconds. That's what's happening to me.
That's like watching the cable channel that's scrambled as a kid.
Yeah.
You're like, I think I see a boob. Is that a boob?
So I'm having that issue. I'll probably tap out. And if I can get back in before what time are we going until?
Oh no. I'm just going random right now.
I would say 8:30 at the latest.
All right. I'll
try.
try.
I got a meeting.
We got an hour. So we got an hour.
All right, I got to jump out. I'll try to jump back in. I got to let the dogs out too. So see you.
Oh, let the dogs out. Yeah. All right, well, let's see.
Hey, Amanda.
Let's see. What story should we go on to? Oh, this is cool. Johnny, look up. There's a couple of folks got together to do a cover of Live and Let Die while we're all home in quarantine, or a lot of us still are. See if you punch that up. It's Nico McBrien from Iron Maiden. He's the drummer of Iron Maiden. Joel Hoekstra, who you know from Whitesnake, and Jen Majura from Evanescence is doing the vocals on it.
Oh yeah, I think I just saw this.
This is kind of cool. It's a cool version. If you guys are bored later tonight, check it out.
Don't be bored right now.
Yeah, don't be bored now.
Later.
If you're bored now, still leave a thumbs up and like the video and subscribe and all that stuff. But I thought this was kind of cool. It's a quick version. It's a very fast song. There's not much to it, but it's such a good song. I mean, Paul McCartney did it originally with Wings for the James Bond movie. Live and Let Die James Bond movie. And then you had Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses cover it in the Use Your Illusion. And I love this song. I think it's a very cool cover. It's a nice hard cover of it. Joel Hoekstra is doing it. Jen Majura doing some kick-ass vocals on it too. And it's just a fun watch.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out later on after the show. Thought that was neat. And then speaking of mixed bag projects, Nikki SIXX's band, 6 a.m. He put out a real cryptic message the other day saying hashtag maybe it's time, and put out a bunch of names on it for a project that I believe is ready at the end of August. So I don't know exactly what it is, but he basically put out a little cryptic note of it, and it's got Joe Elliott / Brantley Gilbert, Ivan Moody, Corey Taylor, AWOL Nation, and Tommy Vexed along with 6 a.m., NIKKI's band, which kind of interesting. I don't know if it's like, is he just having like one song featuring a lot of people? Is he having a lot of guest people on an album? I don't know exactly what it is, and he's not talking about it, but he's basically put out that it's something coming up in the later part of August. So coming up soon, which I think is real neat. You see that, Johnny?
Oh, maybe it's time. Oh, on Friday.
Yeah, maybe it's time. Yeah, that's this Friday, right?
Friday, August 20. Yeah.
That's this Friday. Yeah.
Wait.
Put up the image.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this Friday.
Put up the image because he's been doing, of course, obviously Motley Crue not touring right now. He's been writing stuff with 6 a.m. But look at this. I think I guess it's a new album is what I'm thinking. Featuring all these people on in the album, because that's a lot of lineup there. And Slash loves doing studio work and appearing on other people's albums.
I'm gonna guess it's probably a song. And it's
with
probably called
maybe all those people?
It's probably called Maybe It's Time.
Maybe. Like a single, you're thinking?
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, Joe Elliott, there's a grab. You don't see him appearing on a lot of stuff. Non-Def Leppard related, at least. I'm
going to guess it's a song called Maybe It's Time being released on Friday.
I'm curious. I like 6 a.m. I like what they've done on their own. And like I said earlier in the show, NIKKI's a great writer. But I mean, that just sounds like a lot of promotion for one single. I mean, that, unless it's like one of those, we are the world, maybe it's time for a change kind of things, something political or social.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I think it's interesting, though, and we'll find out on Friday. So I just want to put that out there. You guys keep an eye on it. And then speaking of Nikki SIXX, he just moved to was it Wyoming, I think, and he put out a tweet the other day or recently that I'm fly fishing on Snake River. If this is my last tweet, then this may be my last tweet if something happens to me. And then he puts out someone checked the next day, hey, are you okay? And he says, I had a second near-death experience. Now, I don't know if he's joking or anything, but like, first of all, you don't go fishing in a place called Snake River. That's like, Evel Knievel jumping over, Death Man's Mountain or something, Snake River. It's like somewhere, you move into a new town in the sticks and stuff. And, suddenly like, you're looking around the neighborhood and you're like, boy, it's pretty barren here. And there's vultures overhead, and, tumbleweed going on, and then like you see like a wolf in the bushes over there, and some old miner comes out with a donkey and he's like, well, young fella, you're new here, huh? Well, it's a nice place to live, but kind of dangerous. No matter what you do, though, stay away from Snake River. Old Snake River, that's where everyone loses their life. Snake River, avoid Snake River. It's like, why the fuck would you go to anywhere named Snake River? And you're going to go wading in and fly fishing in there? I would not go. Why do you think they call it Snake River? Do you think they call it Snake River because there's no snakes? Or do you think there may be a couple of snakes in that fucking river? You do not go into Snake River. You do not wade into there. Have a cobra biting your crotch while you're trying to catch a wide-mouthed bass or something. You don't do that.
There's always snakes in the river.
Yeah, you don't go into Death Valley for a hike.
I never get in the river ever.
Well, Snake River. Do you go into Piranha Pond? Do you wade into Piranha Pond? Oh, that place. That's Crocodile River. Yeah, why would they call it fucking Crocodile River?
Crocodile Creek.
No reason, but have a good time. Yeah, Croc Creek. Yeah, Yeah, and a big sign there with lost lives, no day, 28 days since children were swallowed here. Croc Lake. You don't go into Snake River. Yeah, Papa Blue says, is that by Uncle Tom's cabin? You don't go into Snake River. What are you, nuts? Snake River. Seriously, doesn't that sound like something like Evel Knievel would jump over? Snake Mountain, Snake River, Castle Grayskull.
Somebody,
we're going for a hike. We're going for a hike around Castle Grayskull. Someone else. Hey, look at that.
Talked about Evel Knievel.
Great minds think alike. If Evel Knievel, because I believe Evel Knievel did jump over something called Snake Mountain, if I remember. Snake River Canyon jump, Snake Canyon, Death Canyon. You just don't do it. Of course, you almost lost your life again. You don't go into Snake River, Piranha Pond, and Crocodile Gulch, Croc Creek, Wolf Gulch, Viper Pit. What did Evel Knievel jump, Johnny? Now it's got me. I thought it was like, was it Snake River Canyon? Was it literally Snake River Canyon?
John Bill.
Mike Neese says he's been up Schitt's Creek plenty of times.
Evel Knievel, Snake River Canyon.
Was it Snake River Canyon?
Yeah.
So, okay. So Evel Knievel's a stunt man. He's in a rocket cycle jumping over it. Why the fuck would you go right into it? Nikki, what are you doing? That's the last place I would go wading into. Deja Voodoo says it's Deliverance meets Anaconda. Yeah, let's go into old Bear Cave. Come on, kids. What's that? Oh, it's the wind. Come on, let's go into Old Bear Cave. It's right next to Grizzly Cave. Oh yeah. What are you, nuts? You don't go in there. Of course you had a near-death experience. There he is, Evel Knievel. Or is that Nikki? Is that Nikki SIXX?
Evel Knievel.
Oh, it's Evel. Okay. Is it a rocket cycle? They made a play set of that. I came with like a Sasquatch or something. Jesus. You don't go in these places. Yeah, we're going over to Quicksand Gulch. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to Quicksand Gulch. What could go wrong?
Hey, Jeff.
Jesus. Hey, Jeff.
Jeff, good to see you, man.
Is Jeff on Facebook or where is he?
Yeah.
Rock on, all Facebook listeners that I have not looked at the Facebook chat. I'm on the YouTube chat. So there you go. Good times for Tommy. Let's see what else we got in the news. This is interesting. So Sharon Osbourne, she's talking about Ozzy's biop. They're coming out with an Ozzy and Sharon biop that's talking about their early life and times together and Ozzy's addictions and all. And Sharon says, our biopic is going to be real for real adults, nothing held back, all the truth, all real. The Queen biop was for kids. So that's a shots fired. Bohemian Rhapsody, she's saying, is for kids. Never mind bringing up that that he died of AIDS and fighting with problems being a gay man in a time that was not accepted. So yeah, that was for kids, Sharon. What I really want to know, Sharon's talking big, but the fact is, it's going to be real. It's going to be honest. It's going to be all the stuff. I want to see, Sharon, you talking about screwing Jake E. Lee out of money. I want to see that. If I see Sharon Osbourne saying, yes, and then Jake, I didn't let him sign his contracts so we can get all his parts done and we could get all the music. And then I strung him along for a second album for the contracts and we didn't pay him for that either. And he has no publishing rights or song credits or anything like that. I gave all the credit and the money to Ozzy and we screwed him. I want to see you actually saying that. And I want to see them interview Ozzy. Oh, yeah, we did screw Jake. Very much so, yes. Yes, that's what we did. We absolutely screwed Jake. Right, looking right at the camera. No, you're not going to see that. Don't tell me that Sharon's going to be all honest and stuff. She's not going to be honest. Please. And Pooh Ninja says, Sharon, how about the times Ozzy tried to kill her and then she tried to burn the house down with him in it? Will those moments be in there? I want to see that. Hell, I will watch that. Brought to you by Bang Energy Drink. I will watch that. I'm going to be watching it anyway, but I want to see how honest Sharon is, because come on.
If it's made for TV or whatever, it's going to be more of that.
I think it's made for cable. I mean, they'll put anything on Netflix or whatever it is. Or I think is it A&E? I don't even know what channel it's made for.
JBO.
But all I know is it's not going to be as honest as Sharon is saying it is. It can't be, because Sharon always loves to control everything in their image. She never lets Ozzy look bad. And look, you know how much I love Ozzy, huge Ozzy fan, huge Ozzy supporter. But come on, the fact is, Sharon did screw Jake E. Lee out of all his writing credits, his residuals, his song credits, his everything. There's, hey, Tessie, switch.
Hey, Tessie.
So there's no way that Sharon's going to make her family look bad. There's no way she's going to admit we screwed Jake E. Lee out of money. There's no way Ozzy's going to say outright, yeah, I mean, Ozzy might, but he'll be in like a stupor of confusion. But like Sharon will rein that right in. She'll just pull right on his leash and go, Ozzy, I didn't mean it. And that'll be what happens. But there's no way. She has so much control over the image of the Osbourne family. She watches every video before it gets put out. She watches the docs. There's no way on God's green earth it's going to be honest. And for her to like throw shade at Bohemian Rhapsody, hey, you're saying it's made for kids, but you know what? The thing was award worthy. The thing did a huge financial success. Huge.
Mm-hmm.
And where are you coming up with it's going to be honest and adult oriented and real? There's no way on God's green. You'll talk about drug problems. You'll talk about, he bit the head off a bat. You'll talk about, all the things everybody kind of knows and loves Ozzy for. But you're not gonna drop all those dark little secrets that you've for years tried to brush under the rug. Shit, even in Ozzy's video, Ordinary Man, where he's reviewing his life, they totally skipped over the Jake E. Lee period. They totally ignored Jake. You saw Randy, you saw all the other guitarists. You saw Zakk Wylde. You didn't see Jake E. Lee in there. In Sharon's mind, Jake E. Lee doesn't exist. In Sharon's mind, he never existed. It's like somehow it was ghost written. Those two albums, Bark at the Moon and Ultimate Sin. Who wrote those? Who wrote the guitar parts? Oh, we had Ozzy was suggesting things to studio artists, and what was his name again? Jason? Jake? Never met him. No, never met him. Don't recall him. No, they're total denial. Total denial. So again, for all of Sharon's bravado and for some reason bashing Bohemian Rhapsody, which I thought was terrific. I love Bohemian Rhapsody. If anything, I thought Motley Crue's The Dirt could have been a lot longer, and I wish it was, because I thought that was great too. But to say Bohemian Rhapsody, which was a huge budget, and it showed, it was a great product, great video. I didn't see anything for kids there. I think she's just slamming for the sake of, trying to make her own project look great. And I'm sorry. Look, I'm going to watch it. I'll be the first in line to watch it. I love it. But if you're calling on Sharon Osbourne to be honest, hey, listen, I'm calling you out. Be honest. That's fine. Happy to listen to your side of the story, because I know Jake's side of the story, and I believe him. Jake's been very forthcoming. They kept delaying me on the contracts. They kept saying, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. No worries. And then by the second album, Ozzy came up to me and, and said, talk to Sharon. Sharon talks to Jake and says, well, I know it's not what you were promised, but the work's already done. So either we re-record it and use it anyway because it's our property, or you could take what we give you and call it a day. And Jake's like, but I wrote the songs for those albums. Well, that's the way it is. And then Ozzy puts his arm around him and goes, well, Jake, you're just learning about being screwed in the industry. I was screwed in the industry back in the Sabbath days. And, these are things that happen, lad. And, you should be happy anyway. And, Sharon basically calls it, cost of doing business when Jake wrote 2 albums and purposely, intentionally fucked him. Just literally screwed him out of any credits and the finances due for those credits. Those songwriting residuals add up to a lot of money, and Sharon sandbagged him. So when I'm hearing Sharon say it's going to be honest, it's going to be real, it's going to be all the truth, no, it's not. I don't believe it. When I see it, I'll believe it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. Jake got screwed. He's been very honest about it. Sharon and Ozzy were very honest to him about what was going on. This wasn't a mistake. This was an intentional screwing. And that's Sharon's way. Sharon is very money driven. She's a very smart businesswoman, not very moral. I'm glad that she takes care of Ozzy because he's a legend and I love him. But for Jakey Lee to not be mentioned in that video, in that Ordinary Man video, not even a photo of him shown, you can bet your bottom dollar that Sharon is not going to mention him, not even in a footnote in that Ozzy and Sharon documentary. So when I see it, I'll believe it. But yeah, that's Sharon just screwing. So no dice. Johnny, you back? Okay. We'll talk about another documentary then, because this is breaking very cool news. I'm really happy about it. Flipping this coin a little bit, getting away from Ozzy's documentary. Welcome back.
Hey.
There is, and Yostinayer brings up like Ronnie James Dio screwed Vivian Campbell. I'm not as clear cut on that one. There's 2 sides to that story, and I'm not as up on it as far as what happened with Ronnie and Viv. But I know there was very bad blood between them at the time. So someone did someone dirty there too, but I'm not sure the details enough to talk on it. Versus, Jake, I've talked to him in person. I mean, he went detail by detail, and I believe him. So it hasn't been a secret either. It hasn't been a secret why he left after the Ultimate Sin. Very, very clear cut. But in the good news department, Chris Holmes of Wasp is getting a documentary. They have for 5 years been filming a documentary. Those that don't know, Chris and his wife moved to France some years ago. I've talked to them, and they're living in his mother-in-law's house in beautiful France. And a French filmmaker, recognized that basically, look, in America, Chris has been, a great guitarist in a great band at the time, but now he's looked at and no one wanted to play with him, and no one wanted him to join a band, and some people look at him as a has-been. But in Europe, where heavy metal is still a very big thing, Chris is a rock star. He's still a rock star. So, this filmmaker decided, hey, this is too good an opportunity. I'm going to make a documentary of Chris. So for 5 years, they followed him around. They talked about his Wasp history and his solo bands and stuff like that. So coming out, I'm not sure when it's coming out. I believe in November is the date. I think it's going to be released to Blu-ray and DVD. It's going to be called Mean Man: The Story of Chris Holmes. And I think that's going to be fun because if you know Chris was, of course, just a crazy wild man in the early days of Wasp, and it was fun. Mm-hmm. It was cool. You know, and as it got later, he kind of got like kind of goofy and, you know, like you look at that Firebird he had for sale, or it was a Firebird or Trans Am, and the thing looked like, you remember the thing looked like that had jumped Snake River Canyon.
Where is that?
Know, in that car, that shit box. And he was selling it for a while, but he signed the hood and the dashboard. But it was the funniest thing. And you gotta love Chris because he's a super nice guy. He's a monster player. If you like early Wasp stuff, I mean, his parts were tremendous. He's a great player. And again, he's kind of eased back. You know, he's still rocking hard, but he's more like, you know, like that biker metal guy now. Look at that thing. Jesus Christ. It's like you sit in that seat and get herpes. That thing is so filthy. You want to wear a condom walking into that car. But Chris is like such a lovable character. You know, this is what I love about him. He's a crazy good guitar player. He's a super nice guy, and his wife's just an angel. But he's just like a goofy kind of character also now, you know? And, you know, he's fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to this documentary. And, you know, there's Chris in his heyday in the bottom right corner with Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, real, oof, that car.
Somebody actually bought this?
Someone bought it to live in, or I don't know. Someone bought it to drive off into Snake Canyon River.
Because
Snake River Canyon.
Imagine the smell in there.
That's what it's like. I don't even know how he drove that thing. I mean, that I hope he wore a condom when he got in that car because that guitar looks like it's got all sorts of VD. Not that Chris does, but the guitar definitely. The car definitely does. It's like that yellow shit guitar he has. You know, you worry about like wearing gloves with it so you don't catch something. You know, but I'll tell you what though. Chris is a person, like I said, him and his wife, super nice, and he's a monster player. And I think it'll just be a really fun documentary following him around Paris. Like I saw one preview of it, and it has, you know, some French guy with a little teacup, and Chris walks over with this big monster mug, like, you know, the size of 10 big gulps, and he's like, you know, there's an American cup, that's a French cup, and you know, he's just kind of goofy, and it's intentional, you know. It's like he just, you know, he likes being the character, you know. Rena says the car seat probably smells like Lita Ford. Yeah, no joke. That's the Mirror Universe version of Kit from Knight Rider. You know.
Oh man, yeah. Whoever bought that's got to be a super fan, and I wouldn't imagine.
I wouldn't imagine sitting in it,
even driving that around.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine sitting in it at all. And like I said, you know, I just think that's gonna be funny. So if you guys want to check that out, coming out in November, Mean Man: The Story of Chris Holmes. I can't wait to watch it. I think it's gonna be fun as fuck. Really looking forward to that. I love watching Chris, and obviously they do in Paris because to make a whole documentary of that, it's got to be some fun material. So that's fun. Oh, let's see what else we got. Music news. Let's see. Don Dokken addressed recently that, you know, he's been getting a lot of criticism, and we've talked about it on the show. Don Dokken's got a lot of criticism for his singing as of late, and I get it. You know, he's getting older and whatever, and he basically addressed that in a recent interview, and he basically said, look, some are just God blessed. He says, I've seen Klaus Main of Scorpions, Ronnie James Dio all his life before he passed away, Glenn Hughes of Deep Purple. He says all these people were just, God bless, to be able to hold on to their voice for a certain amount of age. And the fact is, Don Dokken right now is singing at the worst he's ever been in his life. He's got a lot of problems. He literally can't use his hands to play guitar anymore. And, what do you do? It's just one of those things where he can't really do much else. So he's just chugging along. And, even though people are saying, hey, Don, do me a favor, just step down. Now's the time to step down, man. Don's just like, look, this is what I do for a living. I'm sorry. A lot of people are saying end on a high note. Unfortunately, Don can't hit those high notes. And, he's just basically, I got no excuse except I'm getting older and I can't sing like I used to. So what should I do? So I don't know. What do you guys in the chat think? Do you think that, Don should basically retire? Do you think he should keep trying? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm torn, I mean, I'd love to see him end on top, but that time has passed, it's sad.
Well, you can't, he was the one that did the show, right? Did a concert and no one was wearing masks or anything. That was him, right? Recently,
Great White had that, and Don had that. Yeah, I think you're talking. Don had one of those.
Yeah,
I think Dokken did a show. Yeah,
and right now you can't tour. You can't do a normal tour. Some bands are doing those drive-in tours.
Right, like Metallica's doing right now.
Metallica, whatever.
Dorpesh, Warlock.
I mean, this is the major problem with music now is you make a record, music now it's free. Yeah. Nobody buys records anymore. I mean
it's all merch and concerts.
Yeah, it's merch that they would sell at the concerts. It's just the concerts in general, and it really sucks for a lot of these guys where they're, I don't know how old he is. He's probably 60 something.
He's coming. I think he's like late 60s. I think. Yeah, I think so. I believe.
Yeah. Yes, I have a problem. We get older.
I mean, he's basically like, what do I do?
I mean, if you think about it, like when we were kids, it's almost like thinking about our grandparents going on tour
or driving.
Or
my grandfather would drive. The police would radio each other. Bob is in the car. Bob is in the car. He's coming down the highway. He's sleeping. The car's weaving. He's sleeping. God. Yeah, you got to take Grandpa's keys away. I get it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really weird now because, like I said, you think about when we were kids, anybody that's 60, that's our grandparents, that's whatever. But now, you got, the rock stars of the 80s, and now they're, they would be like our grandparents to us back then.
I mean, I don't want to not see him. It's like I just feel bad watching him like get so criticized, and I get why, but it's like, it's one of those, do I want half a loaf or not? It's like, would I see him with a little backing vocals to help him along? I mean, I would, because I'm a big fan of Dokken, even, with or without Lynch, whether it's with, John Levin, who's terrific, or reunited with George, whatever, I don't want to not be able to see Dokken if I want, but it's like, it's hard. It's just hard, seeing it. It's like, and you could see like someone like Steven Tyler banging out Aerosmith like there's no tomorrow, like nothing ever happened,
The difference between Steven Tyler and Aerosmith and Don Dokken is, Aerosmith, they played, huge tours all these years. Maybe even, I don't know, did they do stadiums? They might have, but like,
you're talking Dokken or Aerosmith?
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith's done stadiums, of course.
So of course Aerosmith, they're set. They don't have to tour. They don't have to do anything.
You're talking financially, Don
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
That's the reason why. That's the only reason why he's. That's why, because he has to do that, and that's the problem now is you can't tour right now. Music is free. Nobody buys music anymore. You can't tour, and like Don Dokken, he's one of those musicians where they'd always be touring all the time. Maybe he wasn't playing stadiums. Maybe not even theaters. Maybe just a club. You'd see a lot of these 80s bands playing clubs, or they would do those cruises where this whole problem started from. They would do these Monsters of Rock cruise type stuff every year.
Sure. A lot of old people like cruises.
And well, see, now the bands are the old people.
Is the buffet open? Don's playing, and is the 4 o'clock the buffet opens, right?
It's a difference now. Cruises back in the day where the old people would go on them, and the entertainment was young. Now it's the young people that go on them, and the entertainment is old.
It's old. That's rough. I mean, look, on a personal note, I would still see him. I'd rather see Don, trying to hit those notes and chugging along, or singing in a lower key with some backgrounds, than just not see it. I mean, I love Dokken. I've loved him since day one. I got in real early enjoying Dokken. So it's like, what do you do? And I get that it's hard to watch, your teenage heroes, faltering like this and getting old. But I mean, look, we all get old. I mean, I don't, but a lot of you do.
I don't either.
Yeah. See, we're 29.
I haven't in years.
Forever. You shouldn't. Every year I turn 29, my birthday. I mean, look, but like I said, I would personally rather see Don trying his best, and with a little background help, or maybe some more chorus help from like the guitarist and the bass player. I'd rather see him like that than just not be able to see Dokken at all. And again, that's just me. I mean, I know Kiss has some background vocals, but you know what? They still give me 10 times my money's worth, in a show.
Well, you can't compare a Kiss show to a Dokken show as far as production.
Of course. No, and Kiss is like the circus.
The venue.
Kiss is like the circus. Don Dokken's like the ice cream man. But, I'd still rather be able to see Don in a club at a lower tone or with more backgrounds or whatever, even just for the music. Even if you're not enjoying Don's vocals totally, certainly, there's no change in the music. Levin's still shredding along. The bass section's cranking along. And okay, Don warbles a little bit, Hey, listen, Jesus Rapes Me says, I'd rather witness him die on stage. Okay, look, maybe that's a good show. A lot of people, keep watching our live show hoping I have a heart attack. We'll see. Look, if I'm gonna die, I hope it's on the air.
It better be on a Tuesday.
I want to leave Johnny and Paul with good ratings. Never let it be said that I don't put my all into a show for the audience.
We'll get that viral video.
We'll get that. Listen, I want to be immortalized in this show. Rather than just fined every week. No, but I think, like I said, what do you guys in the chat think? Would you guys still see Dokken chugging along, or would you guys rather him hang it up? I'd rather give him the shot.
But you can't go to shows right now. You can't. Dokken, they have to play a club, and clubs are closing.
Well, right now,
there's no live music.
Nobody's playing shows. I mean, unless you went to Sturgis, which, I hope you're safe, because I worried about all my friends that did go. Let's see. Mike Neese says he would see Don Dokken live still. I did Deja Voodoo. I do it for the fans. We do it for the fans.
Yes.
Jason Lee would see Don. The answers are flowing in as we speak. Yeah, no, And again, it's not just Don. I mean, there are a lot of guys that that did that, and it was a big deal. A lot of guys are in clubs right now, and look, they're not as what they could be. Look, your voice does change from when you're in your 20s and 30s to some of these guys are in the 60s.
Yeah, but it's more dangerous for these guys now because you can't play clubs, and if they do play the clubs, it's like you've said, the people that are elderly, they can't be around.
Yeah, no,
a lot of that stuff right now.
Average farm guy is not going to see Don Dokken. Yeah, I saw Don Dokken back in Breaking the Change days. Boy, he was a hootenanny. We had a horgle swallow, and there was a whole kerfuffle happened as soon as George Lynch got in a fight with him. It was back in the day, of course. And I remember I was sitting in the third row eating a bag of Milanos, tasty cookies you could never imagine, with orange jelly in the middle of shortbread cookies. Just delicious. And George Lynch stormed off the stage. I knew then it was a whole big hootenanny going on backstage. Yeah, but I won't see them in the clubs now. No, sir. I can't do nothing. The average farm remembers. But it's like, Susie Cherry says she went to Sturgis. Did you honestly go to Sturgis, Susie? Did you?
This year?
I mean, I'm not talking previous years. Previous years, it was amazing. I'm talking this year. Did you go to Sturgis? Susie's in the chat saying she went. I don't know if she meant this year. Let's see. Amanda Coombs divorced. There you go. That's news. Deja Voodoo. Sitting on the dock in the bay, rocking in my chair away. My wife. Yeah, someone suggested in the chat earlier that Don should do a relationship show called Alone Again Without You. Thank you, SD Design. I love you too. And yes, I do it for the fans. I'm here specifically for the fans. I'll do anything for the fans of the show. Of this show, absolutely. Let's see. Yostinator says more power to him, but I'm not going. KXM Rocks, it's time for Don to walk away. Tessie Switch says hula baloo. Yes, sir. Oh, hula baloo. Let's see. Everyone in the chat loves Blue Rhino. Renus Pinkle says Pen 15. Yeah, of course. It's Don's new project. I like to see you when your pants are tight. Let's see. Saving my money up to see Kiss and David Lee Roth next year, hopefully, says Mike Neese. Susie Cherry says she went this year. Wow. You're braver than I am, Susie.
How was it, Susie?
Yeah, tell us how it was, because more power to you. I hope you'll be okay. I wouldn't have done it. No way. I'm not leaving my house unless it's the supermarket or a restaurant to get takeout, and I'm bandaged up like a mummy when I leave. I got a mask and the whole 9 yards. I'm not risking my life.
I went to the post office today, and this old lady came walking up, and she had goggles, a mask, and like the visor.
Did she have a swimming flippers?
Probably, yeah.
Scuba tank?
Yeah, it was strange. I walked past her and I couldn't believe. I'm like, this is really weird. This is really strange.
It's weird, but she's the smartest one among us, man. Like I said, I've known personally people that have died, and I'm up to 15 friends that have suffered or are currently suffering with it close to me. So Jason Lee wants to know, is Samantha Fox still around? Yeah, I mean, she's still alive. She's not doing that much.
Is she 80?
I don't know. I think she's ate her. I think she's ate her. I know I would. Samantha Fox. Pretty as can be. Let's see. Yostinator says my co-driver did. He said Smash Mouth suck balls. What were you expecting from Smash Mouth? Were you expecting like them to be like the hit of the show, or let's see. And SD's Design wants to know for some reason, am I a Dodgers fan or a Mets fan? Yankees and the Dodgers. I'm a New York boy living in LA, so the Dodgers are from Brooklyn originally, and the Yankees are from New York. So that's the two teams I go for usually for that question. Let's see. Jeff T says, I feel bad that Don's voice is faded. I don't think I'd go see a show with him at this point. Like I said, I would, and obviously others do, but there's been a lot of disappointment. I mean, let's put it this way. If you're going to go to a show with an 80s metal guy, chances are they're not going to be as good as they were back in 1986. They're just not. So, cut them some slack or go in with lower expectations. And then look, you go see someone like Tom Kiefer. Tom can still belt it out, and there are bands that can do that. Don doesn't happen to be one of them, but look, the band's still playing hard. Don's having a hard time with some of the vocals. You got to deal with it. Same with David Lee Roth. You just got to deal with it. If you're going in, just appreciate that you're able to see this artist the way that you're seeing him,
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Susie Cherry said she had a lot of fun. Banged everyone, huh, Susie? 250,000 bikers. Banged everyone, she says.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wait, she didn't say that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm with Jason Lee. Saw a video Sturgis. No one had a mask on. Not for me. Yeah, not for me either, man. Not this year. Not with what's going on. Let's see.
Oh, George Lynch was there.
Where, at Sturgis?
Yeah.
Nothing could kill George, though. Nothing could kill George Lynch. I mean, George, George has enough issues with risking his life. He's a tough man, so he's kind of like the
he's like living in a Winnebago or something right now.
I don't know about that.
Well, I follow him on Twitter, or not Twitter, Instagram.
So he's
all his posts are him like in a camper van. Maybe
he's doing a little vacation
like
or something.
in the wild.
I mean, he's got a house. He lives in Arizona. He's got a house. Maybe I don't know. Maybe his AC's out, or maybe he's just driving around. Maybe he's bored. Let's see. Tessie Switch says that's why tribute bands are so popular now. That's a really good point, man. A lot of younger guys have gotten into tribute bands, and they gather crowds. If they sound or look or try to style themselves like other bands. I mean, take a look at Nerd Halen. And again, Caleb is like a phenomenal player, and Hal's great at what he does. I mean, so it's over and above a regular tribute band. They have a great gimmick and they're super talented. But overall, people are like, this isn't new music, at least not yet for them. But they're basically going to see, because nobody apes Eddie the way that Caleb does. I mean, he's got it like spot on, and people go for that. They love the music. And if a young Caleb is still jumping and Eddie's not, and Hal sounds better than David Lee Roth, which he does, then they're enjoying that music in still a live show.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and there's George Lynch right there. So I guess it's not a Winnebago, but
that's a van.
He's like camping, or
that's a van. He's probably just going around and like doing some camping or getting out there. I mean, it's boring, Yeah, George Jesus Rapes Me says George Lynch is a He-Man. You bet he is, man. The guy lifts a 14-pound guitar. That's why he's built like a wall. I mean, he's like, he's like the Chuck Norris of heavy metal. You're not going to hurt George Lynch. Even the virus runs away from George. He's a tough man. awesome musician, and a tough guy. You get it? Yeah. So anyway, that's the story of Don Dokken. Let's see. Going a little further down. What else we got? Music news. Sir Simmons. Let's see. Quick little note that I thought was very interesting. Dee Snider happened to say this in an interview, and I just thought it was interesting. Someone asked him what, he's very close with Lemmy of Motorhead. And he said, what's the best advice you ever got from Lemmy? And he came up with a real surprising answer. He says, run my wrists under cold water. And he's like, what? He says, when you're doing a show, we did a show together, and it was in this building that they were trying to sell drinks. So they turned off the air conditioning during a heat wave, and everyone's sweating and sweating and sweating. And we're under stage lights and we're overheating and whatever. And I get done with my set and I'm dripping wet. And Lemmy comes up to me and says, hey, run your wrists under ice cold water right now. And he says, what's that going to do? And he says, your wrists are where your blood is flowing the most. And if you run those under ice cold water, it'll cool your body down faster. And he says, sure as fuck if that didn't work. And he said, that was the best advice Lemmy ever gave me. So now after a show, I look for a sink and I put it on the cold water. I run my wrists under the cold water and it cools my blood, my body down faster than anything. He says, I didn't believe it, but he was right. And he says, that's the best advice I ever got from him. Now make no mistake. That could say that Lemmy was really like super intelligent and just didn't tell anybody, or he really didn't have any other good advice to give, because Lemmy was kind of a fuck it all guy. So, it's like, hey, give me some life advice, Lemmy. Fuck everybody. Fuck them all. Fuck everyone you can and get paid. It's like, that's sound advice. I mean, that's sound advice, but that's Lemmy. But it's funny. It makes sense. It's very, very funny. Mm-hmm. And I never knew that. So in our heat wave conditions that a lot of us are in right now, try it. It's kind of funny. It's I'm going to try it tomorrow. I'm going to use it after I friction whack off so hard that my hands are burning hot. I'm going to try it tomorrow and see if that works. And then finally, I thought this was kind of neat. You guys all know my love of Nirvana and how they fucked me and our whole genre of 80s metal at the end of 1991 with the song Smells Like Teen Spirit. And everyone that started into the grunge movement basically abandoned metal, and they suddenly made fun of metal, and suddenly grunge was the thing. And it's kind of funny because everyone thought that was a big rallying cry. Yeah, smells like Teen Spirit. And, with the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. Yeah. And no one knew what the fuck it was about. And I read an interview that kind of has Kurt Cobain explaining where the lyrics came from, that everyone in the grunge scene thought they were so big and great about saying how, oh yeah, it's our battle cry. Yeah. Cobain knows what we want. Cobain knows what we mean. Yeah, it's our, yeah. And no one knew what it was about secretly. And here's where the lyrics come from. So the lyrics, basically the title, It Smells Like Teen Spirit. Start up with that. The title itself, it was basically that Kurt was dating a girl who was like the drummer of some nothing band, and she was a young girl, and she was wearing this deodorant called Teen Spirit. And one day, Kurt's friend got pissed drunk. This girl got pissed drunk at his house and started with a marker writing graffiti all over his walls, his bedroom walls and whatever. And Kurt's just like, yeah, whatever. And she wrote like, yeah, you've been hooking up with her. You smell like Teen Spirit. Kurt smells like Teen Spirit. The girl's deodorant. And Kurt one day called her up and said, hey, I'm thinking of writing a song. Can I use that line? She's like, what line? smells like Teen Spirit. And she's like, the your girlfriend's deodorant? Why the fuck should I give a shit? Use whatever you want. So he's like, okay, now I have a title. And then he comes up and he's like, load up on guns, bring your friends, at front to lose and pretend. She's overboard and self-assured. Oh, I know a dirty word. He's like, that was just drunk nonsense. I didn't really come up with anything. And he's like, and then, you know, the lines after that, with the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. He's like, well, one day we walk into a party and it was dark, and he's like, oh, we're here, entertain us. And that's where he got that. And he's like, so every party they would go to, you know, him and his friends would walk in. All right, here we are now, entertain us. And and that's basically it. And then the big one was, and this really hit me. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. A mulatto, an albino, a mosquito, a libido. They're like, Kurt, what does that mean? How deep is that? And he's like, it's not deep. I just came up with words that rhymed. Like any words. I was just fishing for odd words that rhyme. And they were so disappointed in this interview to find out that basically the song was just gibberish. And like everyone thought it was this big rallying cry for a new generation. And he's like, no, it really wasn't. He's like, it's just, you know, it's just stuff that like I just came up with, like, you know, nonsense. It just rhymed. And, you know, that, you know, people just took it as like a big, you know, rallying cry. And it was never anything like that. It was, I'm surprised the song like even took off.
Yeah. Well, you could never understand the lyrics. And that's why even
he looked at his shoes and mumbled.
Even the Weird Al version of it, you know, it's like he kind of, you know, pokes fun at the song. But I mean, maybe not the lyrics mean much, but definitely the energy that the band had, and just
well, that's why I got fooled into thinking it was a metal song, because he was screaming it, and it was like, you know,
yeah, but it was definitely. I know you're not going to want to hear this, but
probably
Nirvana and that song, that was the right place at the right time for the next generation of. And I hate to say it again, but of rock music.
No,
and
look,
it's the truth.
No, I admit freely that, you know, when grunge came in, it was because, you know, the 80s metal scene had basically beaten itself to death. It had become a shadow of what it used to be. It was very formulatic. Everyone was ready for a change, and that happens every decade.
That happens every generation, of no matter what it is. You know, when it gets to the point of everybody is just copying everybody else over and over and over, and that happened with Nirvana as well. Every band wanted to be Nirvana. Every band wanted to be, you know, grunge.
Yeah, the difference is grunge lasted about 4 years, and then there was like no music other than rap and hip hop, and that was pretty much the end.
And then it happened with rap and hip hop. I mean, it happens with every genre, every style of anything. Once it becomes a clone, a copy of a copy of a copy, then, you know, something new comes along, and it's like, and this is the next thing.
Yeah,
you know?
and look, like
Nirvana
I said,
was that for 80s.
It was time for it, but let's admit something. The 80s went past their own decade. They went into the 90s, and so they lasted longer than most genres. And people have all these great memories and nostalgia and, you know, resurgence of 80s music and 80s metal and 80s good times and 80s energy and 80s guitars are coming back, and, you know, all that, because everyone has good nostalgia about the 80s versus no one has good nostalgia about the 90s grunge scene, because it was miserable. The music was written about miserable subjects. It's raining in Seattle. My sweater's itchy. My girlfriend's fat. I'm looking down at my shoes. My guitar's held together with duct tape. Versus, you know, the 80s music everyone's holding on to. They enjoyed it. They had nostalgia. They remember getting laid to it left and right, doing drugs and drinking and parties and bright colors and high energy and all sorts of stuff like that. You know, that's basically what the 80s represents. And that's why right now you see that 80s resurgence of, all sorts of people wanting a neon guitar and wanting an Eddie Van Halen guitar and wanting a crackle guitar, and these rock and metal cruises and these stadium tours and these club tours and all these bands coming back with new albums, Alcatraz coming with new albums,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, just out of the blue, Motley Crue on tour with Generations wanting to see them, and Def Leppard and Poison, and all stuff like that. That's why, because everyone has great memories of the 80s. It was a great fucking time. It was a big fucking party. You're talking sex and drugs and rock and roll and high energy and craziness and colorful clothing and crazy good high energy, positive, upbeat songs that everyone was just like banging their head to, and guitarists shredding at Mach 1, and really good, rhythms. And, it was a good time. It was a really good time. A lot of people that were there remember it fondly. Someone like me, I cannot get that music out of my head. I love that music. I love those guitars, clearly. I mean, you didn't go in the 90s and sport a pink guitar. You may now, and you certainly did in the 80s, but that was fun. Grunge was about the opposite of the 80s. So it was downbeat. It was slow. It was everyone's depressed and emo and life sucks. And, so there's not a lot of fun. That's why it only lasted like 4 years at its peak, versus the 80s, which overstayed its welcome.
What, the grunge stuff?
And now is back. Yeah. You won't see grunge cruises. You won't see that.
I don't know. Well, you won't see cruises at all, but
maybe they'll dump Kurt Cobain's ashes into the ocean as close as you get.
Every 20 years, everything comes back. And I mean, I see, the stuff from 20 years ago, some of the grunge stuff, I wasn't a huge fan of then.
Like dog shit on the bottom of my shoe.
I'm more of a fan of that stuff now than I was, back in the day.
Ugh. You won't see people like craving for to hear Man in the Box the same way you'll hear people craving Poison singing Nothing But a Good Time.
I don't know. That comparison, I don't know.
I don't see it. Mad Dog's a huge Alice in Chains fan. And he saw them when they opened for Van Halen. See, but here's the difference.
Yeah, I did too.
People are not beating down the doors online to see Alice in Chains playing again. They are constantly beating down the doors to see Van Halen playing again. Van Halen was a party. Come on, whether it's with Dave or Sammy, even with Gary, it was still a party, And I'm not saying that they didn't run their course, but I am saying that, there's a reason that depressing music only lasted for about 4 years and then went away. It only can stay so long, even in a generation.
Well, no, the reason grunge the reason grunge did go away, I was there. I remember the reason that actually went away was because of Britney Spears and NSYNC. That was the next wave of music.
I enjoyed Britney Spears more than grunge. I did.
And you had the sound off.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, she follows me on Twitter. I don't know if I've
Johnny Beane. Oops, Johnny did it again. He reposted my stuff. I wanna hook up with Johnny Beane. I'm not that innocent.
I remember I was sitting in Desmond Child's kitchen. I was eating breakfast, and that was back when you had the newspaper and everything. I was reading the paper and I opened it up, and it's a huge ad for it was either NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys. And when I saw that, I'm like rock and roll's gone, man.
Yeah, well, but like I said, I'd understand something like that. Pop is pop. That's different. But like, yeah, JR says Mancuda sounds like he's 60. Back in my day, those nasty grunge boys. No, look, I'm just saying there's a point that you know, sure, Amanda, you were in high school. Grunge holds a lot of memories for you. I get it. But the reality is, you know, there was so much suicide during the grunge era because the music was depressing. It wasn't the feel good, high energy music of 80s metal. And, you know, while you may remember, like, you know, losing your virginity in the backseat of a car to, you know, Man in the Box or something, or you know, whatever, you know, I'm a man in your box.
That song title means something totally different now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's what's going on.
I'm in your box. Amanda comes.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, you know, I get it. You know, I get it. But you know, the fact is, it was a lot of depressing music. You're not coming back to see, you know, that feel good. Oh, I hope he plays. Oh wait, that singer committed suicide. Yeah. How about that? Oh, they committed suicide too. It was miserable. It was depressing. You know. Meanwhile, it's like everyone and their mother was getting laid at metal concerts, and yeah, sex and drugs and rock and roll, and you know that's just a good time, and everyone loves a good time. You will still see happy faces at a Motley Crue show. You know, when he's singing Kickstart My Heart, you'll see the audience losing their shit. And they're going, yeah, 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 yeah. Versus like, I'm the man in the... No,
But
you know,
you're talking two different generations of music fans, though. Too.
and I get it, but you know what? New generations are more likely to go see a Van Halen show or a Motley Crue show than, you know, pick your favorite grunge band. You know, Pearl Jam. You know,
I'm right in that age group where I was around where I saw everything. You know, 80s metal. I was a kid. when all that stuff was happening. So I wasn't in the clubs, you know. I wasn't old enough to get in the clubs until
neither were we.
Just a couple of years ago, you know. But when the grunge scene happened, when the Nirvana song happened, all that stuff, that's my generation of music, but that's not what I didn't listen to it. You know, I mean,
are you craving to see Courtney Love right now? Or would you rather see Sammy Hagar?
Not right now. Actually, I've got their tape right here.
What, Hole or Van Halen?
Yeah, Hole, Celebrity Skin. That's one of my.
What was their song? Doll Farts or something?
Doll
Parts. Yeah.
Doll Parts.
Doll Farts.
This has some good songs on it. Malibu is actually a really good song.
Yeah, it's a really good place to live.
Yeah. Yeah. But no. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I experienced all of it, and so I don't know. I remember. I remember. You know, all the stuff. Yeah.
But it's like, you know, Deja Voodoo says we can definitely blame grunge for the Eddie Vedder, Alice in Chains, vocal delivery style. Then came Creed. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, look, it just wasn't fun music, you know?
Yeah, Creed, I never know. No, thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I don't know. And again, your mileage may vary, boys and girls, but I can't get into the grunge scene. I'm still mad at it for its participation in taking away heavy metal, at least for a time. But look, heavy metal is back. You don't see a lot of you know, cover grunge bands lately drawing crowds.
Actually, these days, well, no, these days there shouldn't be any crowds.
Days, there's nobody. But I'm saying if there weren't any COVID.
But I would say the past 20 years, you know, as long as I've been on the internet, I've been online since late 98, early 99. I've been sitting here in front of a computer that whole time. And I would say everything is back now. You can get anything you want, any type of music, any whatever. And there is still musicians out there playing every style of music, whatever it is.
Again, your mileage may vary. For me, I'm all about hard rock and heavy metal and shredding and good, rhythmic metal and rock and hard rock and roll. And I'm sorry, but the grunge boys do not bring it. It's like I'm still traumatized singing, just hearing him sing "Even Flow." We don't know you're taking that away.
Thank you so much.
I'd sooner see Uncle Pecos singing Cramble rather than that. Do you remember Uncle Pecos?
I remember Crambone.
Just to put Uncle Pecos in your search and find a photo of him. Everyone will remember Uncle Pecos because he was way more talented than Pearl Jam. Put in Uncle Pecos and see what comes up.
How do you spell that?
Uncle. Pecos.
Yeah.
Yeah, put that photo up.
Yeah, Crambone. Yeah, I'd wear a mask and go see this guy.
Yeah, I would see this guy. Uncle Pecos, absolutely. Whoa! Deep down, Froggy went a court and heated ride. Cramble. Froggy went a court and heated ride. Cramble. Froggy went a court and heated ride. Everybody hill, who would hide? Froggy went a court and heated ride. Cramble. Whoa! Where's the wedding supper gonna be? Cramble. Where's the wedding supper gonna be? Cramble. Where's the wedding supper going to be? Up under the hickory. There's that hard part, nephew. Hickory tree. A Cramble. Yeah, I think he's more talented because he's upbeat. The guy's happy. And an animal lover. Here, kitty. Yeah, and he got far. He lasted longer than Pearl Jam, right?
Well, he's been around 70 years,
something like that. longer than most metal bands.
1955.
There you go.
Wait, how long? John Beale, how long is that?
It's a long time.
60 something years.
Here, kitty. Need a new guitar string. Yeah, so there you go. That's who I would rather see than Pearl Jam. So here's what I want you to do for everyone watching. Leave a comment in the video. Let me know. I want to take a survey. Who would you rather see in concert? If there were concerts going on right now, would you rather see Pearl Jam or Uncle Pecos? So let me know. My vote goes for Uncle Pecos. I hope he plays Cramble. So
yeah. Well, I think that's the only song he plays.
Yeah. Well, it's a hit. It's a top hit. Yeah, so just let me know in the comments because we pay attention to the comments you leave on the video. We reply to them. So just let them know. Taking a survey, either Pearl Jam or Uncle Pecos. Because Uncle Pecos kicked some ass.
Yes.
And I think that's pretty much the gist of the show, Johnny. I think we've outstayed our welcome beyond words.
Oh, at least 3 hours and 49 minutes of it.
Yeah. with multiple startups and stuff. Yeah. Don't even count us in again. I go nuts.
All right.
Well, look, everybody out there, thank you for joining us tonight on Tuesday's show. Obviously, watch Friday and Saturday's show. Don't forget all our fellow shows, like Nez says, on Thursdays. And let's give a thank you and shout out to our channel members. Let's see what we got. Howface, James Gum, Mancuda's a dildo fucker, 802 Blues, Mr. BHB Jr., Frag 5150, Pal Guitars, William Bill Spruce, Frank Corcoran, Thomas Santiago, Brian Spaulding, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz, Ghost BC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, Jim Nicholas, Jesus Rapes Me, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
And let's also thank our other channel members, Mr. Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Michael Smith, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, Nicole Mrazek, Dane, Sean Boland, Linny Lou and Mary, Crazy Cook 678, Bo Zeke, Julia Baldessari, False Flag, and new member Margaret Scranton. And let's also thank Mike Neese's 13-year-old son joining us today. We appreciate letting us traumatize you and corrupt your mind.
And also adding to this list is Garguts Entertainment.
Nice. Thank you, Garguts Entertainment.
You'll be on there next episode, man. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Steve Suppormus. And thank you, of course, our sponsors, Bang Energy Drink and Swiss Picks. And, of course, remember, everyone, eat your delicious Kroger sweet peas for that sweet penis taste in your mouth. Cannot get enough of that penis. Delicious. And again, please leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe, like, leave comments. We read them. We reply to them. We love you guys. Please wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance, and stay safe. Thank you, Black Salami. I'm glad we won you over, man.
Love you all.
Love you all. Blue Rhino says goodbye. Rock on, everybody.
See you guys
soon.
Friday.
And
I know I haven't done any live vlogs yet for the channel members. I'll do one tomorrow, I promise.
Yeah. And good night to Paulie. Thank you, Paulie. Feel better, man.
Yes. All right, let me just make sure. Okay, that's the right one.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the right button here?
Oh, no. Jojo, damn it! Get out of the editing booth! Fucking temp. God damn it. Jojo, that's it. You're going to a hotel. Now we got to do the whole fucking show over again. You stupid fucking cunt. God damn you, Jojo. All right, we're live. We're going live.